NFL Today on CBS Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines.
And welcome back to the NFL Today, where Coors Light takes you first on the field. The Bengals and the Dolphins are ready to do battle, so let's head out to Miami, where Gus Johnson and Steve Tasker are standing by. Gentlemen.
Dolphin Stadium in South Florida. Final game of the year for the Bengals and the Dolphins as they meet for the 17th time. Hi, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson along with my partner, Steve Tasker. And welcome to South Florida, where today we'll get an opportunity to see two teams that are down and looking forward to next season. The Dolphins made big news last week when they hired two-time Super Bowl winning coach Bill Parcells as their executive vice president of football operations. And it's no secret, Steve, Tuna coming into Miami means there are going to be changes.
Well, he was brought in, and believe me, after one win this season, they need big changes. And if Bill Parcells is a doctor brought in to look at a sick patient, he's the kind of guy that does not do surgery with a scalpel. He uses a chainsaw. So there's a lot of guys on edge today for the Miami Dolphins, not only in the players, but also the coaching staff. Cam Cameron may be one of the guys that's changing, because if Bill Parcells feels big changes are needed, he's going to make them now and then move forward. Why wait?
Coach Parcells settled into his office. He had an opportunity to watch practice this week. Needless to say, his presence raised the level of intensity during practice, and he's looking for Bill Parcells-type players. One player that may fit that mold is the great Jason Taylor.
Well, he's had a great year. Despite the record that the Dolphins have put up, Jason Taylor has remained one of the elite defensive ends in the league. 11 sacks. He's been here for 11 seasons. He's the kind of guy that you can build a franchise around. But, Gus, one thing you have to know, if you're going to build your franchise around Jason Taylor, he's a guy that's 33 years old. That is a consideration for the Dolphins.
So with a 1-14 record, there haven't been a lot of bright spots, and you have an older player like Jason Taylor still competing. The good thing, though, for this squad is that some of the young players have had an opportunity to get extensive playing time.
Well, because of those injuries, young players have been asked to step up. One of the guys that really was a bright spot in the first half of this season was Ronnie Brown. He was a guy that really proved to a lot of people around the league that you can build an offense around him. He's fast, big, physical, and does a lot of things. Jason Allen, the 16th overall pick last year, really emerged this year as a great player in the secondary. And, of course, they want to know if Ted Ginn Jr. can be a legitimate #1 receiver here in Miami.
As for the Cincinnati Bengals, they're coming off a home win against the Cleveland Browns, and it's been a very disappointing year for this team. They were expected to push toward the postseason once again, but injuries have been a major problem. Right now they have 15 players on injured reserve. And when you talk about Cincinnati, though, you still have to talk about their dynamic offense led by one of the great quarterbacks in the NFL in Carson Palmer.
He is an elite quarterback. There's no question about it. You look at his numbers and you look at the quality of play he puts out every week. No question. You look at the 19 interceptions. One of the reasons is because he has not gotten support from the defensive side of the ball because of their injuries. And one of the reasons he's so good, his receivers. TJ Hushmanzada going to his first Pro Bowl this season. He's got a chance today with 11 receptions to lead the league in receptions. And then Chad Johnson, 4th in the NFL in receiving yardage, his 7th season overall of 1,000 yards. These two guys are dynamic. And if you want to know what to be on the lookout for in today's game, it is for Cincinnati. They want to win back-to-back games. Such a disappointment this season has turned out to be. They have not been able to do it yet this year. Look for TJ Hushmanzada and Chad Johnson to get on the scoreboard. And, of course, for Miami, it is all about lasting impressions. They want to prove, each and every guy on the coaching staff and on the roster, they want to be part of the big changes that take place in the Dolphins' future.
All right, coming up, it's the Dolphins and the Bengals from sunny South Florida. We'll have the opening kickoff and the starting lineup right after this. You're watching the National Football League on CBS Sports. the Dolphins Stadium in beautiful South Florida, 80 degrees at kickoff time. This is the National Football League on CBS, where today it's the Cincinnati Bengals and the Miami Dolphins. Final game of the year for these two teams, and we'll kick it off right after this on CBS.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
And welcome back to Miami. Beautiful day, 80 degrees, a little breezy, as the Dolphins prepare to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Miami has won the toss, and they've elected to receive the football. Marvin Lewis's Bengals winning last week 19-14 at home against the Cleveland Browns. On the other sideline, Coach Cameron and the Dolphins falling to the perfect New England Patriots 28-7 at New England. 17th overall meeting between these two teams. Dolphins lead the series 12-4 as Graham gets ready to send it away. And the Dolphins have won 5 straight against the Bengals in Miami. Ted Ginn Jr., the rookie, is back deep. So it's the Dolphins and the Bengals. Week 17 in the National Football League. We'll have to wait, unfortunately, 9 more months to get regular season action after today. And we are underway from Miami. Ted Ginn Jr. will start at his own goal line. With a seam. Hits the sideline. And goes down at the 32-yard line. Very good return of 32 yards as Jonathan Joseph brings him down. So that brings on Cleo Lemon. Last week, 18 of 41, 171 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. In the game against New England, his quarterback rating was 64.2. He was sacked 7 times and has been sacked 14 times the past 3 games. First down and 10 at the 32-yard line. As Lemon and the Dolphins break toward the line of scrimmage. And Lorenzo Booker lines up as a single setback in the backfield. Lemon throwing on first down, fires underneath. Ted Ginn Jr. with the reception at the 40-yard line, and he gets up to the 41, stopped by Landon Johnson, the middle linebacker, and it's a gain of 9. Offensively for Miami, they rank 28th in the NFL. Satele is the rookie center, having a very solid season. They have high hopes for him as his career develops with this Miami squad. The backs and receivers, no Ronnie Brown, so they will mix it up with Chapman as well as Booker in the backfield. Second down and 2 at the 40 as now Chapman comes in. They give it to him straight ahead, and Chapman plows forward. And he'll pick up 4 yards on the play. Tahani Jones with the tackle defensively for the Bengals. Their defense picked off Derek Anderson 4 times last week. Smith, a very good run stopper, although he's defensive end. Pecco, Thornton, and Gathers. And the linebackers, Johnson, Genty, and the veteran Tahani Jones on the outside. And in the secondary, they start 3 rookies and 1 second-year player, Hall Joseph, former #1 picks. First down and 10 of the 44. Here's a handoff, and it's Chapman running over the left side, turns the corner, and he gets out of bounds at the 45. And that is a gain of 11. He's inside Cincinnati territory. Tahani Jones there to chase him out of bounds.
The Dolphins came out in their first series, Gus, looking really sharp offensively. You noted as they started the game, Booker was in the backfield for the Dolphins. And they'll switch Booker and Chapman in and out of there. Booker, of course, is a little bit smaller, a little bit faster, a little bit nifty out of the backfield to catch the football. And, of course, Chapman, as we've seen the last couple of plays, is a bruising runner. Nice up inside the tackles, plus getting around the corner.
First down and 10 of the 45. Dolphins have scored 4 times on their opening drive this season, all field goals, as Booker tries to dance, and he's met by Landon Johnson. And it's a 2-yard gain. And when you look at this Cincinnati defense, because of all the injuries, they've really struggled. Their D-line is having problems getting any kind of pressure on the quarterback. The linebackers have been the weakest unit on this team, but those kids in the secondary played really well last week against Cleveland.
They really did. I think the secondary got a lot of confidence out of what happened last week. And I talked to Marvin Lewis, and he told me that he feels they'll be much, much better next year if their linebacking core can just stay healthy. The reason they've been so weak this year is because of the injuries, the ravage their roster on that side of the ball.
2nd down and 8 at the 43-yard line. Booker and Lemon throwing near side. Ball is caught and out of bounds. Lorenzo Booker gains 10 yards. So the Dolphins making huge news last week as they hired the Big Tuna, 2-time Super Bowl winning coach Bill Parcells as their executive vice president of football operations. And I tell you what, to have an opportunity to have somebody like Bill Parcells as the man that's your leader, that is just awesome news here in South Florida. As they run it again, Chapman over the left side, and he gets to the 30, because you know Coach Parcells is going to bring a physical, mental approach to this team that will allow it to be successful again.
Yeah, you see there's got a pen in his hand already, but yeah, this is going to be a team, I think, in Miami that if you want a finesse offense football team, you're not going to get it with a Bill Parcells roster. He wants a team that is tough and physical, because the teams that are ultimately successful, not just in the regular season getting to the playoffs, but in the playoffs, those type of teams win championships, and he knows it as well as anybody.
Ron Wolf, former Packer GM, in the booth with Coach Parcells. They fired to the far side, incomplete. And how cool is that going to be, Steve? Now Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick in the same division.
I'm sure that'd be a warm fuzzy.
That's gotta be nice.
Yeah, those neither one. There might be a fist fight after a loss. And
I'm so happy that Coach Parcells is back in the AFC.
Well, it's going to be great, because Parcells really is. There's not too many guys around that are as legendary in the NFL as Bill Parcells. He's done it at a lot of different places. He's had a lot of success. Ron Wolf is also a guy who's had a lot of success as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see the changes he makes right away.
3rd down and 8 at the 31. Lemon firing underneath, and it is incomplete. Booker unable to hold on. He heard footsteps and drops the football, and that brings up 4th down.
Well, and this is a play you got to make. I mean, that ball was a little behind him, but Cleo Lemon has done very well in this drive, getting the ball out of his hands. The Bengals are bringing some pressure. They're sending some guys off the outside, off the edges. Lemon's had to get the ball out of his hands very quickly, and he's done it. And he's found his men. But on that time, Booker let him down and dropped that football. And that's the kind of thing that costs you football games.
Brings on Jay Feely, who's having a terrific season, 20 of 22. He's in to attempt a 49-yarder. They get it down. It's up. And good. So the Dolphins score on their opening drive. Coach Parcells watching these teams stepping up their intensity already. Here comes Carson. Miami ready to send it away. Glenn Holt back deep. Feely will tee it up. 7 touchbacks this season. There's Glenn Holt averaging close to 25 yards per return. 1 touchdown, 100-yarder.
You know, on that first drive of the Dolphins, they looked really sharp in the first couple, 3-4 plays. Got some first downs, moved the football nicely, got down for a field goal. And you think, Gus, and there were some articles written this week about the atmosphere and how it changed when Parcells came in and started watching practice. And the big question is always this: where was that production? Where was that mentality for 17 weeks? You know, why did it take a guy like Parcells coming in and watching practice to change that attitude? And that's one of the things I think Cam Cameron has to answer for.
So Feely sends it away. Allen holding, and this one short, and is picked up by Holt. Holt at the 15, runs straight ahead and gets to the 35-yard line. So Cincinnati will have decent field position to start. A 24-yard return. Feely actually made the tackle, and here comes Carson. He struggled last week in the win. 11 of 21, 115 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks against Cleveland in that 19-14 win. His quarterback rating was 44.8, and he has thrown for a career high 19 interceptions this season. 1st down and 10 at the 34. Kenny Watson lines up in the backfield in the offset eye with Jeremy Johnson. Watson in for Rudy Johnson, who has a tender hamstring. He's not playing today. Reggie Kelly in motion. Palmer throwing on 1st down. Fires underneath, incomplete. Ball intended for Kenny Watson. That one goes right through his hand. Offensively for Cincinnati, they rank 10th in the NFL. All kinds of changes and injuries on their offensive line. Willie Anderson, their normal right tackle, has been plagued by injuries this year, so Andrews starts at right tackle. Levi Jones at the left tackle position. The backs and receivers, no Rudy Johnson because of that hammy, so Watson's in there. Houshmandzadeh leads the NFL in receptions, over 100, and Chad Johnson having another spectacular year. Second down and 10 at the 34. Watson lines up as a single setback, 3 receivers set for the Bengals. And Palmer botching the snap. It's loose and recovered. Looks like Kenny Watson jumped on it. And that will be a 2-yard loss.
And you watch this. Just before the snap, Carson Palmer was getting an earful from Chad Johnson out to his right. Chad Johnson wanted him to throw the football deep. He's right at the bottom. He was going man-to-man with Lehan and wanted Carson to try and go deep. And Carson obviously did not listen to him. Was going to hand that football off on the running play.
Brings up 3rd down and 12 at the 32. Palmer lining up in the shotgun. And here's Palmer over the middle, and it's caught. Chris Henry, 1st down Bengals. As he gets close to midfield, Chris Henry picking up 16 yards on the play. Jason Allen with the tackle. Defensively for Miami, the Dolphins defense did not allow a 100-yard receiver. Only the 4th time this season that the Patriots did not have a 100-yard receiver in a game last week. Taylor has 11 sacks. He's heading to another Pro Bowl. As we take a look at the linebackers, Sprague in the middle, Pope and Joey Porter, the former Pittsburgh Steeler, and in the secondary, Will Allen, the former Giant, Lehan on the other corner with Schulters and Allen at safety. 1st down and 10 at the 48-yard line now for the Bengals. Opening drive for Cincinnati, empty backfield for Palmer. Short drop, throws it underneath, and it's caught. Reggie Kelly with the reception. And they jump on him quickly. Joey Porter, he picks up 2.
There you see the Bengals' first possession. Only the Patriots have scored more points right when they get the football, right at the start of the game, than the Bengals have. They've been really productive early in games. I think Marvin Lewis likes that about his club. This offense has been really consistent, Gus. Even though they haven't won a lot of games, he's got some great players on that side of the football. They just haven't been enough this year to win more games.
2nd down and 8 at midfield. Here's Watson running over the right side, and he'll get inside Miami territory as he crosses the 50. Vonnie Holiday with the tackle, and it's a 1-yard gain.
You know, when you talk about teams, Gus, who have struggled, and both these teams have underachieved this year, no question, but you see these, this is what Kenny Watson coming in now for an injured Rudy Johnson. And just this statistic alone, this graphic will let you know injuries have been a huge factor in the seasons for both these clubs. They've both had to deal with an incredible amount of guys dropping out, starters and key players, and the Bengals have done a little better job than the Dolphins have.
Watson has done a nice job as the second back for Cincinnati. 2 100-yard rushing games this season. Here's Palmer with time, tucks it, fires, incomplete, and there's a flag, though, in the secondary at the 33-yard line.
That's what happens. There's a face mask in the secondary.
Personal foul, face mask, 47, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
That's Courtney Bryan, the safety, call for the personal foul.
Right there, right there. Right here is where the face mask was called. It was right at the snap, and I didn't see it. I did not see it.
Yeah, he got a little piece as Chad Johnson broke off the line of scrimmage. So the Bengals 1st down and 10 now at the 33. Kenny Watson, 4 games with at least 100 yards from scrimmage. Now Palmer firing near side, incomplete. That ball intended for TJ Houshmandzadeh. Seattle and Atlanta battling today. Here's James Brown in New York.
Justin, Steve, you know Seattle already has a 3rd seed locked up in the NFC. Take a look here at running back Sean Alexander getting his 100th career rushing touchdown, 2 yards. That caps a 10-play, 82-yard drive. 7-0 Seattle over Atlanta. Back to Gus and Steve.
I'll tell you, Gus, it's a great thing for an offense to get a score on that opening drive. It really does a lot for the whole game plan.
Now the Bengals running the football. And Miami right there. Joey Porter leading the way. And that's a 5-yard loss.
You know, it took a long time for Joey Porter to feel comfortable in this defensive alignment for the Miami Dolphins, but in the last half of this season, he has played sensational. He missed all of training camp with a little knee injury, came back, and as the months wore on, that first half of the season, he really started to feel much more comfortable and has really made a difference in the second half of this year. That's the kind of guy that you can win games with. But like Jason Taylor, his best years may be behind him.
Third down at 15 at the 38. They need to go to the 23 for a first down. Palmer in the shotgun. Reggie Kelly and Watson in the backfield. Here's Palmer. Steps into his throw over the middle, and it's caught. T.J. Hushmanzada, first down at the 21, and it's a gain of 17 yards. And he's stopped by Derek Pope.
Both times in this drive, they've had 3rd and 10 plus, and they've picked up both of them. 3rd and picks up 17, unbelievable. 3rd and 12 and a 3rd and 15 on this drive, and they picked them both up. And that's 104 receptions. That is an enormous year.
First down and 10 at the 21. Now Johnson and Watson line up in the offset eye, and Palmer hands it off to Watson, looking for a hole, and he's wrestled down by Joey Porter after a gain of 1 yard.
You talk about this Dolphin defense. That Keith Traylor, the great veteran player who's out, will be replaced by Steve Fafita today, and also Anthony Bryant. So guys are moving up into this lineup down inside. It looks like early on, down inside that defensive line for the Dolphins, they're really getting it done. You see there Fafita, and of course Jason Taylor on the outside. It's up to those guys to stop the run, Gus. Everybody else makes the tackles, but they stop the run.
2nd and 9. Draw play. Watson hit in the backfield, and he goes down. Mike Roth initially with contact, and Fafita comes in and cleans it up.
Now you see these, like I said, the defensive linemen stop the run, but they may not make all the tackles. You see Roth spins them around right there, but the D linemen stop the offensive linemen from getting out and blocking linebackers and secondary guys so that they can come up and fill the gaps and make the tackles. And those guys are doing a great job in the early going against this Cincinnati offensive line.
3rd down and 9 at the 20. 11th play of the drive that started at the Cincinnati 34. They've been great on 3rd downs on this drive. Here's Palmer. Under pressure, and it is incomplete. Henry, the intended receiver, and a flag on the play. That one broken up by Lance Schulters, and he could be called for interference.
Yeah, Schulters got there early, hit him early before the ball got there. He doesn't like it because he was making a play on the football.
Pass interference, 31, defense. Ball was placed in the spot of the foul. First down.
And that's a spot foul, and that's a huge penalty right there. Schulters is trying to make a play. Watch here. See, he knocks him right off the ball. You can't do that. You can play the football, but you can't knock the receiver away from the football. And that's what he did. He just got there too soon. And that's a good call by the official.
First down and goal now at the 5 for Cincinnati. Watson breaks it inside, and he'll go down. No gain on the play. In the red zone this year for the Bengals, 52 possessions. They've scored 24 touchdowns, 23 field goals, and that's a 46.2 touchdown percentage, which ranks 23rd in the NFL. Now, for this offense, that's surprising.
It really is. And I think one reason is, Gus, they've got 2 great wide receivers, but their running game hasn't been there, and they don't have an outstanding tight end to use down there. In the red zone, those are key elements.
2nd down and goal at the 5. Johnson, Watson in the eye. Now Palmer calls a play at the line of scrimmage. Watson knifing forward, and he goes down at the 2. Joey Porter once again in on the tackle, and it's a 3-yard pickup.
And this is, at this point of the game, the Bengals doing a nice job there. That's a good play for the Bengals down close, and that's the key, guys. Like I said, they haven't had that consistent running game. Marvin Lewis has really leaned on this offense so much because of the injuries, but this offense, if they want to score touchdowns, they got to run the ball down close.
3rd down, goal at the 2. Watson the single setback. Palmer in the gun. Here's Carson throwing in the end zone. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Ocho Cinco. Chad Johnson. And that is the 7th receiving touchdown of the year for Chad Johnson.
Well, they knocked his helmet off, but it's not enough. Chad Johnson catching and hang on to it. Schulters gets a little bit back because of the interference call he had earlier, and pow. Wow. They gave it to him.
And he held on.
And he held on. I'll tell you what, you don't get 7,000-yard receiving years as a receiver unless you can make catches like that and take that hit.
Chad Johnson has led the AFC in receiving yards the last 4 years. That streak will end this year. Reggie Wayne will do it. Or either Randy Moss. The extra point is good. Chad Johnson. Palmer threading the needle. Ocho Cinco holding on in traffic. Bengals up 7-3. One is providing today's aerial coverage. Look for the MetLife Blimps as they team up with CBS for more coverage this fall. So a big drive for that Cincinnati team. They converted on a 3rd and 12, a 3rd and 15, and a 3rd and 9. Eventually with the touchdown for Chad Johnson. This one kicked out of the end zone. And the Dolphins will start at the 20-yard line. 7-3. Cincinnati with the lead. And here comes Cleo. Go to CBSSports.com for complete coverage of the NFL playoffs. Get the latest news, playoff seedings, and expert analysis. It's all online now at CBSSports.com. Gus Johnson along with Steve Tasker, Dolphin Stadium. Here in Miami, 80 degrees, sunny, breezy, perfect. Snowbird weather, as they call it.
And here we are.
That's right. Thank goodness. First down and 10 at the 20. And Chapman lines up as a single setback for Cleo Lemon and the Dolphins offense. Mawia in motion. Play fake. Lemon rolls out of the pocket, throws, and it's caught by Chapman. And he is wrestled down after a 4-yard pickup. John Thornton making the tackle on the play along with Ndukwe.
We spoke to Jesse Chapman earlier this week. And he is a guy who is one of those guys who's a little bit vocal about, hey, where's the intensity been all year? Why does Parcells showing up at practice all of a sudden even the walkthroughs are better? He's one of those guys that he knows he got an opportunity here in Miami. He wanted to make the most of it and is disappointed with the season just like everybody.
2nd down and 6 at the 24. Lemon to the near side, and this one caught Camarillo. And Greg Camarillo gets to the 35. Marvin White as well as Jonathan Joseph combined on the tackle, and it's a gain of 9. Well, why does practice get better? Why is practice more intense? Because the tuna will throw you in the ocean.
That's right.
If you don't come out there and play hard.
Well, they know that because of the horrendous record they put up this year, all of these guys' jobs are up for grab. Not only the players on the field, but the coaches on the staff, and they all feel the heat right now. 1st down and 10. Here's Chapman. And Chapman gets to the 35. On the NFL Today, they have a very interesting segment. It's called Crunch Time. It's kind of a game show type segment in which James Brown, our host, asks our expert guys some true or false questions. So one of the questions, Steve, was true or false? Does Bill Parcells retain the current coaching staff? Shannon Sharp said false. Bill Carr said false. Now, the most telling response came from Dan Marino. He also said, Steve, false. Well, that says a lot about what's going on here in Miami.
2nd down and 10 at the 34. Now Lemon fires over the middle, and it's caught. And that one received by Martin. Let's go to James Brown for an NFL update.
Gus, as you know, the Saints need to win to have any shot at the playoffs plus help. But take a look. Kyle Orton drilling this 19-yard bullet to Mark Bradley, leading 10-0. The Bears are over the Saints. Bears did it to Green Bay last week, knocking them out of a shot for a #1 seed. Gus and Steve.
All right, JB, so Chicago looking good early. 3rd down and 1 now. And Lemon with the quarterback sneak, and he'll pick up the 1st down.
You know, Gus, you talk about, as we have, about the changes that may be happening here in Miami and Bill Parcells' thoughts about them, but You think in a team like this, and a coach would come in and the players and everybody feel like, well, if they can do it this last week and show that they want to do it. Well, that's not really true, because they film every practice, they film every game, and there are a lot of ways to evaluate players. And if they had a bad season and think they're going to win the heart of their new vice president of football operations with this one game, it's not going to happen.
First down and 10 at the 45. Chapman in the backfield, 3 receivers at the top of your screen. Now Lemon under pressure, and he breaks it, fires. Lemon using his athleticism to avoid a sack as he throws it away.
When he throws it away, he got up limping after that last quarterback sneak and took this snap and showed his mobility. Really had to wonder about it. He runs pretty well, but after he throws it, you see there he kind of gingerly runs off the field. It's not really feeling 100%, but obviously he can still run around well enough to get loose.
Lemon 5 of 8, 41 yards. He's hit 5 different receivers already, and he faces a second down and 10 at the 45-yard line. Bengals with the 7-3 lead. Lorenzo Booker checks into the backfield. Ted Ginn in motion at the top of your screen. Now Lemon with time. They set up a screen. Nothing doing. Booker chopped down immediately. Dhani Jones comes up and makes the tackle, and that's a loss of 4.
Yeah, that was a great play by the Bengals, and it has been, and they got kind of lucky because they've been sending 5 guys after Lemon most of the game. Their defensive line has been getting some help with some extra rushers. On that play, they only rushed 4, which left the linebackers loose to run after that. They got lucky, had an extra guy to cover that pass.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by AIG. Live longer, retire stronger, never outlive your money. And by Sprint, proud sponsors and avid fans of the NFL.
Welcome back. 3rd down at 14 at the 41-yard line for Cleo Lemon out of the shotgun. And Lemon with time fires off his back foot to the far side. Incomplete. Broken up at the last moment. Terrific job by Jonathan Joseph. And Miami will have to punt it away.
Oh, you said it, Gus. He really played that perfectly. Had the in cut right here, or the corner cut, playing right underneath, staying there, sees the cut, reaches back and extends and gets his hand on it. Could have been a little bit better thrown football, but Joseph staying right on the receiver, knocking the pass away. Great defense. That's why this young secondary shows such promise, Gus.
So Brandon Fields will punt it away to Antonio Chapman back deep, standing at the 12-yard line. He takes a couple of steps forward, picks it up at the 20, and he goes down at the 21. A 39-yard punt, a 1-yard return. Halterman with the tackle on special teams. Here comes Carson Palmer and the Bengals offense. Welcome back. Cleo Lemon had his right ankle taped up while we were away. So the Bengals take over, 1st down and 10 at the 22-yard line. Carson Palmer on the opening drive, 4 of 6, 37 yards. They hand it to Watson, and Watson crosses the 25, gets up to the 27-yard line. About a 5-yard gain on the play. Will Allen with the tackle.
Yeah, you see in games like this, particularly with an offense like Cincinnati's, it's structured so much around Chad Johnson and T.J. Hushmanzada that in a game like this, even with their backup running back and Kenny Watson in the game, the Bengals are going to hand it off quite a bit because the Dolphins have struggled against the run.
2nd down and 5 at the 27. And Watson again, jitterbugging to the 30-yard line as he gains 3 on the play.
Hand it off once again. I think it's a smart move too, Gus, because we saw in that first drive the Bengals had to pick up 3 third and very longs. Well, you don't run into that when you got a running game. Now it's 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3. Now they've got a chance to do something in their whole playbook. They can run it or throw it, and that's how you stay on the football field as an offense.
3rd down and 2 at the 30. Watson Needs 2 yards. He will not get it. Terrific defensive stand. Lance Schulters comes up and makes the tackle. And on 3rd and 2, that's a loss of 2.
And that's a great defensive play up front by the Dolphin. Watch the Dolphin defensive line just slide down. They don't back up at all. They hold up and ball up the offensive line of the Bengals, which allows Schulters to come in off the edge through unblocked and get the tackle. Great job.
So the Bengals send it away. Ted Ginn Jr. will signal for the fair catch at the 29-yard line. It's a 43-yard punt. Bengals 3 and out. Here come the Cincinnati. Here come the Miami Dolphins, rather, and Cleo Lemon. Welcome back. 7-3. Cincinnati with the lead as Miami takes over. First down and 10 at their own 23-yard line. Jesse Chapman lines up in the backfield. Justin Peele in motion. Here's Chapman following his blocks. Trying to cut it back inside. Slips and gets to the 31. About a 3-yard gain on the play. He's stopped by Genty. So what do you think when you watch this Miami offense? What do they need? And you know, some of these young guys have performed well this year and have gotten all sorts of opportunities for this Miami offense, like Ted Ginn Jr. Yeah, Ted Ginn Jr. is a 9th overall pick. They want to see if he can be a #1 wide receiver, but it's hard to tell with the problems they've had at quarterback, Gus. 2nd and 7 at the 31. Lemon underneath and incomplete. He threw that one behind the intended receiver, as Jonathan Joseph was there. That was a bad throw right there. That quarterback position is a very interesting position for Miami, because that's where they need the most improvement. Well, they drafted John Beck. He came in and played some this year, was not impressive, and Cleo Lemon continues to be their best option to give them a chance to win football games. And because of their problems at quarterback, Gus, how do you evaluate Ted Ginn Jr. as a #1 wide receiver? They really want to know if he can be that guy as well. Ronnie Brown was having a terrific season before getting hurt. He had 741 total yards from scrimmage, averaging 185 per game. Here's Lemon, steps into the throw, and it's caught. Martin with the catch, and he gets down inside Cincinnati territory. Delta O'Neal stops him, but it's a gain of 19. That's a nice play. Lemon showing his good arm strength. Great protection by the offensive line. The Bengals bring a zone blitz. They only rushed 3 guys, and one of them was a defensive back, so everybody else is back in coverage, and Cleo Lemon sees it and takes his time. When they do that, Gus, they try and fool you into throwing it quick like there's a blitz. Cleo Lemon saw it, held on to the football, and waited for his receivers to come open. Exactly what he was supposed to do. First down and 10 at the 49. Now Lemon again to the far side. Nice throw and a very solid catch by Marty Booker in front of Leon Hall. Cleo Lemon starting to find his rhythm now. That's a 9-yard gain. And if you look at Coach Parcells' history, usually when he selects a quarterback, it's a veteran type guy. Phil Simms, Jeff Hostetler, Drew Bledsoe. We had Bledsoe early. He also wants a guy. Vinny Testaverde. He also wants a guy that doesn't turn the football over. That's right. Very interesting decisions coming up for Coach Parcells. 2nd and 1 at the 40. Empty backfield. And Lemon. Quarterback sneak, picks up the first down as Ndukwe tried to strip it out of his hands. And you talk about their run game here in Miami, and this is it. The most players with a rush attempt. That is an injury statistic right there. 13 guys have carried the football for the Dolphins this season. However, if Ronnie Brown comes back healthy, that kind of answers some running back questions, and Brown was placed on the IR on October 23rd with a knee injury sustained against New England on the 21st. I'll tell you what, though, Ronnie Brown didn't go out with a hangnail. It was a serious knee injury. You're right about that. First down and 10 at the 37. Lemon firing downfield for everything. Incomplete. Ball intended for Hagan. He had a step. Jonathan Joseph covering. Well, it was going to take a perfect throw, but watch here. He's working against Joseph. Gets a pretty good release, a little stomp. Joseph stays right with him right there. Joseph knows he's going to have to play the football. He's looking for it. It was going to take a great throw, and Hagan just couldn't get out there enough, and that's
You know, if you're going to make that play, either your quarterback's got to make a perfect throw or that receiver's got to have just one more gear.
2nd down and 10 at the 37. Lemon has hit 6 different receivers. Chapman in the backfield. Here's Lemon, short drop underneath. Ball is caught. Martin turns it up. Martin inside the 20. Great call. Great catch and run after the catch by David Martin, and it's a gain of 18. O'Neal, Landon Johnson with the tackle.
Well, I think, Gus, when you're on a team like the Dolphins, nobody has really come out and said, hey, I'm the #1 guy. I'm going to get 10 footballs thrown to me every week. And then a guy like Martin comes out and they like the matchup they get. Cleo Lemon's a guy that says, well, I'm just going to take it. So it's not like he has to spread it around to a guy to keep a receiver from pouting. He's going to give it to the guy who's open.
And they hand it off. This is Chapman around the corner, and he is upended. Nice open field tackle for this Blue Adams. Backup cornerback, and that's a 3-yard gain.
He's going to bounce this right outside, following the big offensive lineman. Yeah, that's Rex Hadnot. He came around the guard and they just couldn't get out there fast enough. That's what a defensive back's supposed to do, Gus. They're supposed to do 2 things. Run like a deer, cover a guy who's uncoverable, and then come up and act like a linebacker.
Easy job, right?
Yeah, that's why those guys are at the top of the athletic pyramid.
2nd and 7 at the 16. 9th play of the drive that started at the Miami 28. And a timeout called by Cincinnati.
Yeah, Marvin Lewis sprinted down the sideline to get that timeout taken.
Back to Miami right after this.
Something.
Welcome back. The Hit Game Show with the questions that have America talking is back. 5 questions can win you $10 million. Drew Carey hosts The Power of 10, returning Wednesday on CBS. Gus Johnson, Steve Tasker with you, Dolphin Stadium. As you take a look at Miami in the red zone this season, they rank 19th in their touchdown percentage category. 2nd down and 7 at the 16-yard line. Play fake, Lemon rolling out of the pocket, fires, finds Peel inside the 10, and he's wrapped up and taken down at the 8-yard line. Justin Peel stopped by Landon Johnson, and he gains 9 yards on the play and picks up a 1st down.
I like what Lemon does on this too. He gives the play fake, and as soon as he comes out, he sees Peel and just takes him right now. And I like that because I used to play receiver. You like the ball early because you know you're going to get a chance to catch it and find the defender and make a guy miss. And that really was what allowed Peel to get the 1st down.
And there's an injured player on the field. It's Landon Johnson, 59. Black for the Bengals. Looks like he may have caught a stinger in that shoulder. He's holding that left arm.
As we said earlier, this linebacking core for the Bengals has been riddled with injuries, and that's one of the reasons their defense has been so inconsistent. And actually, it's the reason their offense has been inconsistent as well. Right here is where he hits him. And that's what happens. Just you take
Left
that shoulder,
neck.
yeah.
Hopefully he can shake it off and get back on the field. One of their best defensive players. As I mentioned, Bengals with 15 players on the injured reserve list. So they are playing with a lot of 2nd and 3rd string guys.
It's a 30-year roster, over a 30-year roster, Gus, with 53 guys on it. I mean, it's, and, you know, they didn't lose guys to injuries who weren't playing.
So that brings up 1st down and goal at the 7th. 10th play of the drive that started at the 28. They hand it off. Booker. And Booker stood up and taken down at about the 6-yard line. 2-yard gain as Mays makes the tackle, replacing Landon Johnson in the middle.
Once again, you see these teams, Gus, get down on 1st and 10 or 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line. They hand the football off a lot because it's so crucial. There's just no room to throw the football. And when you get in there, you have to fool the defense to get something going in the passing game. And not only do you have to fool them, you really have to fool them because they'll recover because there's so little space for them to be fooled in. So you really got to do well and execute excruciatingly fine down close.
Lemon rolling out of the pocket, buying time, fires, touchdown! What a great play! Lemon keeping his composure. Ted Ginn Jr. with the catch. Cleo Lemon really composed as he turned the corner and found the rookie Ginn.
And Ginn's going to end up standing right at the pylon. Watch Lemon. He's going to look back inside. Right there, he looks back inside. That huge, that pump fake is what did it. Watch again. He's going to come out, fade around, and then just slip in. And that inside pump fake held the defense completely and allowed him to throw the touchdown.
So Cleo Lemon making things happen. 10-7 Dolphins.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sudafed PE. Relieves the stuffed up feeling of nasal congestion in minutes. Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And by E-Trade. It's easy. It's extraordinary. It's E-Trade.
Welcome back. 11-play, 72-yard drive as the Dolphins ate up close to 6 minutes. Lemon hitting Ginn Jr. So now Holt will return it for the Bengals. Brings it out of his own end zone. And Holt crosses the 15 and is knocked backwards. Some great-looking special teams play as Perry makes the tackle. So Cleo Lemon throwing the touchdown to Ginn Jr. And the Dolphins take a 10-7 lead. Welcome back, 10-7. Dolphins lead it as Cincinnati takes over at their own 18-yard line. Kenny Watson in the backfield behind Carson Palmer. Short drop. They fire to the far side. That was caught by Antonio Chapman, who gets down the sideline. It's a great play as Leham makes the tackle. So Marvin Lewis started the season on crutches after having surgery for his Achilles tendon, and this Bengals team has been limping ever since.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, you talk to him about it, and this is what he's done. And, you know, this isn't really fair. I mean, because it's not, you know, never outstanding. They had an 11-5 season, no question, but you forget how bad they were before Marvin Lewis showed up.
Palmer throwing underneath. Chad Johnson with the catch. Johnson sprinting. Can he get there? Ocho Cinco! Touchdown! 70 yards.
The safety fell down in the secondary just as Chad Johnson came out of his break. The safety was going to break up on the football. Right out here, the safety, you'll see him right there on the ground, have to get up, and that's it. That's all it takes.
Chad Johnson.
Jason Allen, the safety, falling down, and that's it. And you know what? He stepped out of bounds. He stepped out of bounds. You might want to challenge this if you're Miami.
Well, the Bengals snap it. Extra point is good. Second touchdown reception of the day for Chad Johnson. This one spectacular as he turns on the afterburners, and the Bengals take a 14-10 lead.
Sponsored by Mobil 1, the world's leading synthetic motor oil. And by Citi. Whatever your story is, your Citi card can help you write it. Citi, let's get it done.
All right, coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. Gus Johnson, Steve Tasker with you. Chad Johnson, a 70-yard touchdown or not?
Well, I think he stepped out of bounds. We'll take a look at it after this kickoff, but Chad Johnson, no question, great play.
As the Bengals send it away, Ginn Jr. will return it from the 11-yard line. Ted Ginn Jr. tried to break it outside, and he's wrapped up at the 30, and that's a return of 19 yards. Blue Adams with the tackle on special teams.
And you saw a moment ago, right there it is. It's not hard to see. He did step out of bounds. Half his foot's on the white line. Didn't see it. And that's not hard to see from that angle. Of course, it happens so fast. If the official changes his focus for just a moment, he'll miss it.
Third time this season he's had 2 touchdowns in a game this year. First down and 10 at the 30-yard line now for the Dolphins. They fire to the far side. This one is caught. Ginn Jr. following his blocks nicely. Finally wrapped up by Joseph and taken down. But that is a first down.
Yeah, you want to, that's a great run by Ginn. You can see why he's such a great kick return. He's got into the creases, and if you're going to be a #1 receiver, you got to be able to do this kind of thing. Get some help there. Steps inside, waits for his blocker, then cuts back to the outside away from the pursuit. Gets a lot more yards that he wouldn't have gotten had he just ducked and run in, tried to duck it up inside. Great run, and that's getting every yard coming to you, Gus, is an underrated quality in a wideout and a running back.
Ginn with 3 catches for 26 yards. Here's a handoff, Chapman. And Chapman gets the 45. John Thornton with the stop, the right defensive tackle after a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, Cincinnati is a team with T.J. Hushmanzada and Chad Johnson. You know they're going to make some plays against you. And the idea is to limit those. If you can make them earn everything, they're just not going to be able to score that many points. When they can make a 70-yard touchdown, it takes away the demand that they have to run a 5-play or 15-play drive to get down there and score points. A 1-play 70-yard drive is just not going to help you win a game.
Second down and 8 at the 45. Peel and Chapman in the offset eye. Play fake. Lemon fires over the middle. Chapman with the catch. Makes the first man miss and is wrapped up by the second man, Dhani Jones. And gathers.
Cleo Lemon once again finding his receiver. A little pressure there up the middle, but the one thing he's doing now late in the season, Gus, and we watched him play earlier in the season, he's throwing to guys that are open consistently, and he's getting the ball out of his hands. He didn't always do that early in the year. There's no question. I think Cleo Lemon has improved with the amount of time that he's been asked to play here in Miami. No question. I think he's made himself valuable, if not to the Dolphins, certainly as a free agent.
Third down and 4 at the 49. Lemon in trouble, and he's sacked. First sack of the day as Fainene comes up with the sack. Jonathan Fainene in his 3rd year out of Utah.
Coming right up inside right there. He stumbles and gets in there, and that just got in low. And he just came in and kept coming. Squeezed through that offensive line. And that causes the punt. And Gus, that's huge. That's sacking a quarterback is exactly like making him punt.
So Antonio Chapman's back deep. He'll get an opportunity. He starts from the 10. Gets outside and is wrestled down at the 24-yard line by Lance Schulters. A 49-yard punt and a 12-yard return. Tonight on CBS, the race around the world as teams navigating through India. Only 5 teams remain, and the pressure is mounting. Don't miss the 5-time Emmy Award-winning Amazing Race tonight after 60 minutes.
A moment ago I said, if you get a sack, it's like forcing the other team to punt. It really is. Whether it happens on 3rd down or 1st down, it's like giving it, it's almost like a penalty. It's like an intentional grounding because you get the guy behind the line of scrimmage and they lose the down, and it's just so difficult for offenses to overcome a sack. Even if it happens on 1st down, it really puts in the percentages of having to punt after a sack on a series are huge.
First down and 10 at the 22. T.J. Hushmanzada has been quiet in this game. Only 1 catch. Here's Palmer firing over the middle, and it's caught. Guess who? Hushmanzada at the 40-yard line gains 18 yards.
Well, when you said it, Gus, they were trying to get the football to Hushmanzada on this. He's coming across all the way across the football field, and Palmer waits and waits and waits and finds him all by himself. You see there his buddy Chad Johnson, who just had the 70-yard touchdown, runs right through the middle of the defense and makes a big gap as they go deep with Johnson. Leaves a big hole for Hushmanzada to come underneath him.
First down and 10 now at the 40. Now Palmer fires over the middle, and it's caught by Watson out of the backfield, who'll get the midfield. Well, let's stay on T.J. Hushmanzada. What a season. Everybody always talks about Chad Johnson, but Hushmanzada came into this game with 103 receptions, most in Bengals history. The previous record was 100 receptions by Carl Pickens in '96. He has 5 or more catches in 12 of 15 games this season. Just a terrific year for TJ. First down and 10 at the 49. Hand it off to Watson. Watson will pick up a couple.
You know, you talk about T.J. Hushmanzada and Chad Johnson. You forget they're both 7-year players, and they both came out of Oregon State. And T.J. was the #1 guy at Oregon State, and then early in their careers, Chad Johnson emerged as the #1 guy in the pros, and now they're trading back, and T.J. is the guy that catches it.
Palmer throws down. Chris Henry open. Well, Palmer puts too much on that one, and that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. With the score, Cincinnati 14, Miami 10. Welcome back, 14-10. Bengals with the lead, 1:57 remaining. Here in the first half, Cincinnati faced with a 3rd down and 9 at the Miami 48. Carson Palmer in the shotgun. Miami showing blitz. Here they come. Palmer gets rid of it to the far side. And it's incomplete. Chris Henry couldn't make that. Chad Johnson couldn't keep both feet in bounds.
Yeah, they thought he might have juggled it too on his way to the ground. Watch as he comes out. This is a great throw by Palmer. He's fallen backwards and gets this out there. Huge arm strength. And you see there. Well, I don't know. That looked like a good catch. Let's see if his feet are down while he still has. Now he juggles it. No, that's a great call by the official. He juggled it and re-caught it in his arms. But when he re-caught it, his feet were off the ground.
So Larson stands inside the 40. Ginn Jr. back at his own 10. Wobbly kick. Ginn Jr. will get an opportunity from the 11. Ted Ginn Jr. is chopped down at the 17, a 36-yard punt and a 6-yard return. Genty with the tackle on special teams. Coming up on the Sprint halftime report, join JV, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach C for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Sprint halftime report. And speaking of Coach Cowher, one of the rumors floating around down here is that potentially Coach Parcells could be interested in Coach Cowher.
Well, I mean, it's his kind. He puts out a team that is a lot like a Bill Parcells team, and they beat you up on Sunday afternoon. And that's exactly what Bill Parcells likes his football teams to do and to look like.
Coach Cowher has said repeatedly that he will not coach next year. But you know how those things change in professional sports. Now Lemon to the far side. And Ginn Jr. with the catch. He gets out of bounds at the 25. Another coach that's out there is Marty Schottenheimer. 9-yard gain. But if you really think about it, in my opinion, Steve, and I had a chance to cover Cam Cameron when he was a wide receivers coach in Washington, with Norv Turner also in San Diego with Marty as their offensive coordinator. It would be nice to see him get a real opportunity. This organization has been in shambles for quite some time.
Well, it's not all his. He's sitting in a mess that he didn't create. I mean, they've got a lot of draft picks that they have to answer for before he arrived.
2nd down and 1. And the Dolphins running the football. Nothing going for Booker.
You talk about the graphics that they've, the drafts that they've missed on. We'll get back to those in a minute. But there's reasons for the way the Dolphins are looking right now.
And just to further illustrate our point, the Dolphins need players, Steve.
Yeah, and the only guy that's left on the roster is on injured reserve, Jeremiah Bell. But those are numbers that Cam Cameron had no control over, and he's sitting there with a team that had no draft picks for 7 years.
Here's Lemon in the shotgun. Steps up. That one deflected and incomplete. Anyway, finish your point.
I mean, you can't win football games if you don't participate in the NFL draft. And it's as though they never had a draft. These are guys that from 2003, those are guys that should be in the prime of their career. They should be having Pro Bowl picks out of those drafts. They've got nobody. Nobody. I mean, you can't win if you can't draft. And they can't draft. They have not drafted here in Miami at all.
So the Dolphins will punt it away. Chapman back deep. He backpedals and will start at the 19. With a hole. He needs one block. And he's out of bounds at the 35, but there is a flag standing at the 23-yard line. A 58-yard punt and a 47-yard return. Brandon Fields, the punter, sends him out of bounds.
Well, you know what this usually always means is this ball's going to come back. Had a great return, but right at the point of attack, right where he caught the ball and started to make the first guy miss, there's going to be a hole. That seems to be always the place where it happens. Walt Coleman will explain it to us as soon as he gets the explanation from his crew. The reason that guy doesn't have a hat on is because when a player steps out of bounds, he throws his hat on the ground. Over on the far sidelines, he threw his hat on the ground and let him know that the gunner on that side of the coverage team stepped out of bounds.
There are fouls on teams. An eligible downfield prior to the kick. Number 80. We have an illegal block in the back. Turn. Number 3. Those penalties will offset. We will re-kick. 4th down.
There you have it. And that's a penalty against Cincinnati, because they had a great return going on that, and that's the one. They're the ones who are going to have to pay the price for this. But as I've told you, we discussed this a lot, and this is what I did for so many years, is cover kicks and stuff. Cincinnati gets the benefit because it's tough to cover 2 punts in a row. It's a long, hard street fight that you run for 60 yards and you're beat. And now you got to go do it again, and that's when you give up another long return. It's when your coverage team is so tired they can't be effective.
So Chapman is at the 31 as Fields stands at his own 8-yard line. Good snap. Angle toward the far side, and it's a rocket. It goes out of bounds. Let's see where they spot it. And the Bengals will have it at the 36.5. And that is a 40-yard punt.
And the Bengals do a nice job. They almost get this. Oh, Manning almost thumps that right into the end zone and picks it up for a touchdown. Those are the kind of plays that happen after penalties. A guy's just a little bit lazy, wants to get out quicker to get down the field because he's tired, and leaves somebody running free to the punter.
So Carson Palmer comes back onto the field. Bengals leading it 14-10. Palmer has thrown 2 touchdown passes in the first half, both to Chad Johnson. He's 8 of 12, 148 yards, no interception.
And you know, you think there are a lot of teams out there, Gus, 102 remaining, 2 timeouts. They're not going to get anything done. The Bengals aren't one of those teams.
Team timeout.
And a timeout
Miami.
on the field called by Miami.
Timeout.
They have 1 remaining. Cincinnati with 2 remaining. 1:02 to go. 4-point game.
America, it's time to make a choice for the People's Choice Awards. Pick your favorites in movies,
Captain Jack Sparrow, the last pirate.
in music, and television.
The People's Choice Awards, CBS Tuesday, January 8th.
I was busting you with the nature of my game. Oh, yeah. Get on. Yeah.
I know something.
So as we come back here in Miami, Miami takes that last timeout right there, and it's a little bit weird that they take a timeout right there before this drive starts. Now they don't think they're going to get the football back, but still they did give Cincinnati a chance to gather themselves. I don't know, I think that's a little bit of a wasted timeout, although at this point I don't know why they would save it anyway.
First down and 10 at the 37. Now Palmer, far side, caught. And a nice piece of running after the catch as Lehan makes the tackle. And that's Coates running the football.
I spoke to Marvin Lewis. He said, you know, we do this no huddle thing a little bit too much. He said one of the things about this offense, it's a little bit too slick. We're not physical enough offensively, but in a situation like this is what you want to do best.
Palmer over the middle. Bushman-Zada with the catch at the 30. And he goes down to the 29. Bada bing, bada boom. The Bengals march it down the field in a couple of plays. Lehan brings him down. That's a 23-yard gain.
That's exactly what I said, Gus. This is when you need a kind of no-huddle offense. When you can execute like this, you're never out of a football game.
Welcome back. 14-10, 28 seconds remaining in the first half, and the Bengals are on the move once again. First down and 10 at the 29 for Carson Palmer. Play fake. Palmer sets up, fires over the middle, and it's caught at the 5-yard line. Daniel Coates, a gain of 25. Palmer quickly to the line of scrimmage.
And they'll spike it right here.
14 seconds and counting. And they stop the clock with 10 seconds to go.
Yeah, and they saved the timeout by being able to do that down inside the 5. Great pass down the pipe, right to the tight end. See, right out to the right of the screen, coming right back inside the numbers in the hash mark. I'll tell you guys, 3 completions, and the Bengals are threatening already. And you talk about how there are places and times and place for everything. This is the time and place for that no-huddle offense. Carson Palmer, when he first came in the league, saw Peyton Manning do this to his team and said, you know, I want to be able to do that. And here a couple of years later, there's no question he's learned it.
Cincinnati with 1 timeout remaining. 2nd and goal at the 4. Watson in the backfield. Palmer looking underneath. Touchdown. Coates. No, make that Antonio Chapman with the touchdown. With 4 seconds remaining in the half.
Wow, they got the ball, Gus. 1:02 to go with 2 timeouts, and they scored just as the play clock runs out. He sees Chapman break inside, then back out, and he squeezes it right into the end zone. I'll tell you, if Chapman doesn't get in, the Bengals still, because they spiked the ball, could have called a timeout there and gotten the kick away, but they took 1 shot at the end zone and got it.
So Carson Palmer has thrown 3 touchdowns in the first half. Shane Graham in to attempt the extra point. And it's good. 5 plays, 63 yards. Palmer scoring in 58 seconds. And the Bengals take a 21-10 lead.
CBS welcomes you to a Hollywood landmark. Home of the not-so-rich and famous.
I was a writer on a little TV show called Three's Company.
Three's Company.
Hello, Joshua. I'm sure you're familiar with my body of work.
So you like older women, huh?
Nothing happened. They made love. Welcome to The Captain. Premieres Monday, February 4th on CBS.
We want to thank the MetLife Blimp for providing aerial coverage of all of the drama below. Look for Snoopy 1, Snoopy 2, and Snoopy 3 when they pass through a town near you. 21-10, Bengals with the lead as they score in 58 seconds. That's the offense that everybody loves in Cincinnati, a team that has the potential to put up big numbers quickly. Points in bunches.
It's good when you can complete passes and get first downs, but if you go 2 passes or 3 passes with an incompletion, you're off the field in a big hurry.
So 4 seconds remaining in the half. Most likely this will be the final play of the first half. It's squibbed and picked up at the 35. Here's the lateral, Ginn Jr., and he'll go out of bounds at midfield. So a big first half for Carson Palmer. 3 touchdown passes. He's 12 of 17, 211 yards. Chad Johnson catching 2 of those touchdowns, 1 a 70-yarder. And at the end of the first half, the score, Cincinnati 21, Miami 10. We'll be back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on...
It's the CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Sprint, proud sponsor and avid fans of the NFL.
All right, folks, and welcome back to New York in Studio 43. I'm James Brown with the Sprint Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up in the action in the first half around the NFL. My guys, of course, Dan, Coach, Shannon, and Bomer.
Hey, JB, Happy New Year, babe.
And you know what? Hey, Happy New Year to you as well. Jacksonville, let's get it going.
Hey,
Dan.
Sage Rosenfeld, he finds Owen Daniels in the back of the end zone, 2-yard touchdown. That puts them up 14-7. Then Quinn Gray returns the favor, Ernest Wilford, for a 6-yard touchdown. Then on the next kickoff, Andre Davis down the sideline. I don't think anybody's going to catch him because this guy can fly. He just outruns everybody. 97 yards for a touchdown. That's his second 97-yarder of the year for the Texans.
Houston looking for the franchise's first ever 500 season. Niners and Browns, coach.
And Cleveland's looking for their 10th win of this season. And Josh Cribbs, an AFC Pro Bowl returner, is going to take his first punt return back for the year for a touchdown. He already has 2 kickoff returns. And Derek Anderson is going to score a 45-yard touchdown right here to Braylon Edwards. Now, Anderson later hurts his hand. He did come back to the sideline, and Brady Quinn came in and led them to a field goal. So we're getting to see a lot of the future right now in Cleveland.
Cleveland, of course, hoping that Tennessee loses tonight. Then the Browns will be in the postseason. Saints and Bears, Shannon.
Yeah, JB, they're sipping on chicken broth, but they didn't get the memo that New Orleans was trying to make the playoffs because Kyle Orton and the Bears team is not cooperating. Mark Bradley, 19 yards, and they're up 10-0. But Marcus Colston, 2-yard touchdown, 3-yard touchdown. Excuse me, my bad. Adrian Peterson, wide open. Bernard Berry, a 9-yard TD reception. And here, find better ways to get him the football. Kyle Orton, Devin Hester, 55 yards. JB, Chicago's rolling. If they played like this early in the season, they would be going to the playoffs instead of going home 24-14. Chicago.
Injuries played a little bit, didn't Shannon? Shannon, no sensitivity, huh?
No.
Syracuse, number 5, Donovan McNabb.
Is this the last time he's introduced as the starting quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles? I don't think so. Come on, guys. Ryan Westbrook having a heck of a day, setting franchise records for most yards from scrimmage. That was held by Wilbert Montgomery. Also broke Irving Fryer's record for most receptions in his season, 89 thus far today. How about Ashton Yabodi? He's going to rip off a ball right there from Donovan McNabb. Donovan McNabb, 13 of 19, 140 yards, 1 TD. They're leading 10-3 at halftime.
Boom, with the theatrical pause at the beginning. Lions pack Shannon.
Brett Favre did not play long, but he was very effective when he wasn't in the ball game. 5-yard touchdown reception, Corey Robinson.
Who's he playing?
Detroit. Bubba Frank can't run that far or fast. 4 yards, JB. Touchdown, Brett Favre, 9 of 11, 99 yards, as he daps on Bill Levy, the ref. Now, you know you're good. When you can dap the referee on a touchdown pass, you're real good. And Brett Favre is.
Favre has never lost to Detroit at home. That's 16 games,
and he never will.
In the postseason. I hear you. Coach!
And Seattle trying to prime themselves for next week's home playoff game. Sean Alexander going to get in an early score, 2-yard touchdown run. And Chris Redmond, who's really been impressive the last 6 quarters, over 400 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, finds Joe Horn here. And then after a sack and fumble of Hasselbeck, Warwick Dunn's going to go 5 yards in, but Hasselbeck will respond back like good football teams do. He's going to find Bobby Ingram on this 30-yard touchdown pass, and it's 17-14, but Atlanta is driving at the end of the first half.
What are they driving, a Cadillac?
They're getting ready to score again. I'm telling you, getting ready to score again.
They're driving a U-Haul.
Panthers and Bucks, boom.
All right, well, Luke McCown in for Jeff Garcia as Tampa elects to rest a lot of their key players. You don't know how that's going to affect them next week against the Giants. Matt Moore's still going to deliver 2 touchdown passes. This one to Christian Fourier for a touchdown here. Yeah, he's still playing. And how about his Dante Rosario? He's still playing. Well, he's tight ends making plays today.
I should be out there making plays, man.
17-13. That's right. At halftime, Carolina over Tampa.
You're making them here, Shannon. Bengals and Dolphins, Dan.
And Carson Palmer's on fire here in the first half. He finds Chad Johnson in the back of the end zone. That's his first touchdown reception. Carson Palmer, 3 touchdowns in the first half. Here's the second one to Chad Johnson. He breaks away 70 yards down the sideline. He's showing off for all his family back in Miami. Chad Johnson, 2 catches for touchdowns in the first half, and then Palmer at the end of the half finding Antonio Chapman, 3 touchdown passes, 21-10. Cincinnati over Miami.
Say which team?
I mean, you look at Cincinnati. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, these guys, which team's going to show up? But they're showing up the last game of the season.
Back to the second half of your game.
Who they kill, as they say. Who they?
I don't know who they are.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Sprint, proud sponsor and avid fans of the NFL. CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Sprint, proud sponsor and avid fans of the NFL.
It's halftime with the score 21-10 Cincinnati. We'll return to Miami after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Well, in the first half, young Ted Ginn got in. But then number 85 struck back. Big day for Carson Palmer. 3 touchdowns in the first half. And at halftime, our score, the Cincinnati Bengals 21 and the Miami Dolphins 10. Welcome back, everybody. Gus Johnson along with Steve Tasker. In that first half, we saw that explosive Cincinnati offense. Really, they're fun to watch.
Yeah, they really showed up big time, particularly in that last 2-minute drill. They got the ball back with less than a minute to go and 2 timeouts, and it was nothing. 5 plays, touchdown, and it's exactly the way they wanted to end that first half. Carson Palmer, along with Chad Johnson, TJ Hushmanzada have been the story. Of course, Chad Johnson with the 2 touchdown passes. They haven't run the ball very effectively, although they have still tried to run the football. So if the Bengals can continue to do that, they're going to win this football game. On the other side of the field, the Dolphins have got to play consistently on offense, and they've got to stay on the field. They cannot punt this game away and expect to win.
So Feely will send it away. Glenn Holt back deep. And this one kicked deep into the end zone, and Holt forced to take a knee. So Cincinnati will start from the 20. Steve, let's take a look at the halftime stats.
Well, you can see there the Bengals not running the football well at all. 9 yards. You can't win doing that, except that you throw for 3 touchdowns. No turnovers. And I think, Gus, one of the things that the Dolphins have got that hasn't been enough. Their defense has been riddled in the passing game. The Dolphins coming into this game have been pretty good against the pass all in the second half of this year, but not today. Carson Palmer is really throwing the football wherever and whenever he wants.
So Palmer starts 1st and 10 at his own 20. They run the reverse. Chad Johnson around the corner. Joey Porter chases him, and he goes out of bounds at the 30. It's a 9-yard gain. Michael Leham pushes him out of bounds.
Yeah, this is since week 8. They've allowed the fewest yards per game in passing, and that secondary of the Dolphins has been responsible for that, but a little bit of it has been the fact that they've been susceptible to the run, but they are not giving up too many yards passing until today.
2nd down and 1 to the 29.
Now, granted, they don't face too many offenses like this one during the course of the year.
Now Palmer fires over the middle, deflected, intercepted. Derek Pope got a hand on it, snatched down a rebound, and we have our first turnover of the game.
Well, that's how you turn it around, Gus. Somebody makes a play that's not in the playbook. Pope's going to drop back, keeps his eyes in the backfield, just gets a hand on it and keeps it alive to catch it. Great play, outstanding play by him. We'll see. There's Porter. There, right at the bottom of the screen. Pope grabs it. Looks like he held on to it. I know you were oohing about maybe he bobbled it and let it hit the ground, but I think that one's going to stand.
So Pope with a big smile on the Miami sideline as Cleo Lemon takes over at the Cincinnati 37. Hands it off to Chapman, and he is wrapped up immediately. Pecco in his 2nd year out of Michigan State, 4th-round pick in 2006. With the stop, it's a loss of 1.
I can't emphasize enough how huge that pick was, because the Bengals offense was really clicking in the first half, and the Dolphins needed a break. They needed to come out, make something happen, get the football. They know they had to give it right back to Carson Palmer after he'd just gone through the 2-minute drill right before halftime for the touchdown. The Dolphins needed a break, and they got it.
2nd down and 11 at the 38. Here's Lemon with time. Steps up, wants to run it, and Lemon gets to the 35 as Justin Smith wraps him up, and it's a 2-yard gain.
You talk about the turnover margin. This is the last 2 games. The Dolphins, that's coming into today. And those first, this is always a symptom of a team that's struggling. The minus takeaway, the minus turnover margin, and there's Cleo Lemon after that scramble stayed down.
So John Beck will have to get loose quickly. 21-10 Cincinnati. Dolphins with the football at the Bengals 36. So Cleo Lemon walks over to the sideline, and he is in some pain. Replaced by John Beck, second-round pick. Rookie season. 3rd down and 9 for Beck as he operates out of the shotgun. Bobbles the snap and turns it over. There they go. Ndukwe. Touchdown Bengals. Wow.
Hard to imagine a worse start than that for John Beck, coming in off the bench. And all of a sudden, this game is almost out of hand. He's got to make it. He's just dropped it. I mean, there's no excuse for that. And you got to come in and make that catch.
Chinedum Ndukwe returns it 54 yards. And the Bengals take a 27-10 lead. Make it 28-10. 13-12 to play. 3rd quarter. Bengals forcing turnovers. 28-10.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines' convenient nonstop flights, it's like having your own company plane. American Express. Are you a card member? And by GMC, official vehicle of the NFL and proud supporter of those who want it more.
Welcome back. 28-10. The Bengals with the lead as John Beck turns the ball over. And Cincinnati capitalizes with a 54-yard fumble return for a touchdown by Ndukwe. Graham sends it away. Gint Jr. will field it at the 8. Up the sideline, and he's out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Marcus Maxwell pushing him out of bounds. A 15-yard return. As Beck comes back onto the field, and Cleo Lemon had that right ankle taped up earlier. Let's see what happened to him when he went out.
Well, Justin Smith's going to grab him and spin around on him, and watch as he spins. He just kind of gets crumpled there.
All right. They're calling it a hip injury.
Yeah. What you can't see is the shot he took in his back as he started to go down. With Justin Smith wrapped around, and he got crumpled from the back as well.
1st down and 10 to the 22. And they hand it off to Chapman. And Chapman pushes the pile forward. So John Beck for the season is 47 of 86 for 424 yards. No touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Started his last 4 games. Did not play 6 times this season. Was a 3rd quarterback for the first 5 games of the year. He played, as we mentioned, at BYU, finished his collegiate career with over 1,400 passing attempts. He threw for 11,000 yards, 79 touchdowns. 2nd down and 8 at the 24. And a flag.
As you can tell, when you switch quarterbacks, you're going to
start 72 offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Get a different cadence. Nobody's exactly sure when he's going to snap the ball. You don't have a rhythm. The offensive line starts to twitch to make sure they don't get off the ball late.
And around these parts, John Beck, as you take a look at Trent Green, their starting quarterback at the beginning of the season, but he went out with a concussion. His future uncertain.
Yeah, I spoke to Trent Green earlier today, and he's still waiting for an okay from the doctors.
Beck shovel pass to Booker. And Booker runs it and crosses the 25, gets up to the 28-yard line.
A lot of things up in the air here in Miami, Gus, about the future. Trent Green is a guy who's still here on IR, who is a proven quarterback, a veteran, although he's a little bit of the Jason Taylor mold, a guy who's played great, but you know, he's been around a long time. If you're going to build a franchise, he's not going to be around to see the end of it.
Beck reminds a lot of people around here of Drew Brees, the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, who played for Cameron in San Diego. 3rd down and 4 at the 28. Underneath, that ball incomplete at the 35, intended for Hagan. Jonathan Joseph covering. No flag on the play, so Miami will have to punt.
Missed the play. Wants a flag. He's not going to get that. It's a good defensive play there. Joseph comes right in over the tie. That's a nice defensive play. It was maybe a hairly, but they're never going to get a penalty on that throw.
So Fields will punt from the 15. And Chapman is back deep at his own 25. This one popped high in the air, spiraling punt. Chapman catches it at the 33 and goes down. A 40-yard punt. 28-10. Bengals with the lead. Carson Palmer and the Cincinnati offense back on the field. And welcome back. 28-10. Cincinnati with the lead. Gus Johnson, Steve Tasker with you as the Bengals take over at their own 32. 1st down. Johnson and Watson line up in the I formation. Here's Palmer to throw it. Palmer over the middle. Incomplete. Ball intended for Chad Johnson. He laid out for it in front of Will Allen.
And this takes a long time for this route to develop. You see that great route by Johnson. He comes up, looks back like he's going to run the fade and give up, and then snaps it underneath the defender. It's a great technique used by wide receiver. You can do it when your quarterback has protection, but it doesn't always come out that you have that much time.
Each team with the turnover. 2nd and 10. Reggie Kelly, the tight end, in the backfield now for the Bengals with Kenny Watson. They fire it. Bushman-Zada at the 33, and he's wrapped up and taken down by Lance Schulters. This is the great year for TJ Hushmanzala. As you take a look,
this is coming in to today. He also has some catches today, but he's got 12 touchdowns. This is his 1st season where he was elected into the Pro Bowl as well. And of course, across the way, Chad Johnson's been to 3 of them.
Great tandem at receiver. 3rd down and 10 now for the Bengals. They're 3 of 5 on 3rd down conversions. They need to go to the 42-yard line for a 1st down. And the whistle, maybe offside against Miami. No, a false start.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Yeah, Willie Anderson was there focused on the defensive end across from him. He didn't hear Carson Palmer and the receivers calling out the blitz that was coming from the other side. Willie Anderson in the game, one of the really good right tackles. And
he's been plagued by a number of nagging injuries in his 12th season.
He did not start today, but he was active and they got him back in the line. He's been hampered by injuries. He was actually started for by Stacey Andrews, but now of course he's back in there.
Hamstring. The most notable injury for Anderson. 3rd down and 15 at the 27. As Palmer drops back in trouble underneath. It's caught by Reggie Kelly, but he doesn't have enough for the 1st down as Pope comes up and makes the tackle, and Cincinnati will have to punt.
Yeah, Vonnie Holliday was right in Carson Palmer's face mask. He had to dump that off. Great pressure right up the middle of the football field, the formation.
So Kyle Larson at the 18. Ted Ginn Jr. back deep at the 25. Good snap. Ginn Jr. signaling for the fair catch at the 30, and he has it at the 29. A 39-yard punt. 9:10 to play. 3rd quarter. Bengals with the 28-10 lead. Let's see if Beck can get loose.
You're watching the NFL on CBS. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Miller Lite. Preserve the liquid sanctity of game day. Miller Lite. Good call. And by GM's OnStar. Get the OnStar treatment no matter who you are.
And welcome back. 9:10 to play. 3rd quarter. Miami takes over at their own 29-yard line, trailing 28-10 to the Bengals. Jesse Chapman in the backfield, and they give it to him. Chapman gets to the 35. 5. A nice piece of running as Leon Hall brings him down after a gain of 7.
At this point, particularly, the Dolphins are, they've had their backs to the wall all season, but today, of course, the second half of the last game of the season, trailing by 18 points. Your quarterback's injured. John Beck is in there. I mean, seems to be an indignant end to a tough season, but also symbolic.
2nd and 3 at the 36. Beck, short drop underneath the slant, throws that one behind Marty Booker.
And that was a bad throw as well. I mean, that ball had no chance of being completed. And sooner or later, Gus, I mean, they're going to have to find out about all these guys. And Bill Parcells and the front office and the personnel department are going to go scour every piece of film they have on these players through practices, through games, everything. And they're going to talk about what they bring to the table and who they can replace and who they need to replace and who they'll have to wait to replace because they don't have anybody better right away.
3rd down and 3. Beck in the shotgun at the 36. Now Beck sidearms it and throws it behind his intended receiver again, Marty Booker. So Miami will punt it away. Cam Cameron trying to stay positive on that Miami sideline. He could be coaching his final game as the head man with the Dolphins.
Well, there's been no shortage of speculation that Cam Cameron may be the first change made, but Bill Parcells isn't talking yet.
And they send it away. And it's fair caught at the 25. According to Coach Parcells, Cam Cameron's future will be discussed sometime this week. Back after this. And welcome back. 28-10 as Beck roams the sideline trying to find himself there. Carson Palmer and the Bengals take over at the 25. 1st down and 10. And they hand it off to Watson. And Kenny Watson running straight ahead, and he crosses the 35. The 30 rather gets up to the 34. Lance Schulters comes up and makes the tackle, a 9-yard pickup. And it's the longest run of the day for the Bengals.
At a time, and that's amazing too, because they're up 18 points deep in the 3rd quarter. And you know that they're going to run the ball more often, and then they hand it off right between the guards and they snap off 9 yards on 1st down. I mean,
2nd down and 1. Bushman's out of the motion man. Kenny Watson again. 1st down and some. As he gets to the 40, Schulters again. It's a 6-yard pickup. Hope also in on the tackle.
This is where the time in the game when these games matter, and of course this is the last game. We've said a lot about what these two teams are facing today, but this is the point of the game where the Bengals want to run the football. The Dolphins know they want to run the football. Everybody in the stadium knows the Bengals want to hand the football off and run it, and the Dolphins have no answer.
1st down at the 40. Palmer throwing this time. Over the middle. Chad Johnson with the catch. He's drilled at the 45 but holds on. And Johnson, although he was stopped by Allen, chases Allen down and says, hey, I held on to that football. And that's a 1st down. This guy's crazy.
Yeah. Allen may be playing very well as a youngster in the NFL. He's 2nd year out of Tennessee. But I'll tell you what, Gus, when you make a tackle on a 15-yard reception, you don't really celebrate it.
Very good point, partner. 1st down and 10 at the 44. And a flag on the play. Chad Johnson. Awesome game. 3 catches.
Full start, 69. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Chad Johnson. 3 catches, 88 yards. Carson Palmer has thrown strikes this afternoon.
He really hasn't. One of the things we haven't talked much about, Gus, is particularly going from right to left on your TV screen. The wind is really whipping that direction. We've seen it on kickoffs and we saw it on the field. Right down on the field, it is very windy, and Carson Palmer with the tight spiral he's been able to throw, it hasn't bothered him at all.
New franchise record for Palmer, over 4,000 yards. First down and 15 at the 49. Watson. And Watson gains a couple. Kenny Watson took over for Rudy Johnson last week due to a hamstring injury that has bothered Rudy all season. Johnson has missed 4 games this year, and he's averaging 4.4 yards per carry. The NFL average is 4 yards per carry.
Well, Marvin Lewis will tell you, they've got their own issues over there. I mean, he said, and one of the things I thought was telling is we need to find guys that football is very important to. And I think if you read between the lines of that, Gus, he's got some guys playing for paychecks over there, and he doesn't like it.
Their lifestyles. Second down at 13. Palmer underneath, incomplete. No flag on the play, intended for Watson out of the backfield. And Derek Pope covering.
You know, you talk about the problems that Cincinnati has had has been well chronicled. They've had a lot of guys with problems off the field. Marvin Lewis has said he would like to have guys who, and a lot of coaches and front offices say that we want guys who football is real important to. And it's easy to say that, Gus, but what it means is you need guys that would play for free. You want guys that want to be great. You want guys that work hard Monday through Saturday, not just show up on Sunday.
Third down and 13 at the 47. Now Palmer in trouble. Gets out of there, fires, and caught on the far side by Chris Henry, and he is dropped. Jason Taylor getting into the backfield. Allen with the tackle.
Watch coming up just without his hand on the ground, comes in free, and Palmer just gives him enough of it. I'll tell you what, Jason Taylor has a large wingspan. To get around him says something, and Henry making it, trying to get around it. Pretty good tackle there by Harris.
And you were talking about Marvin Lewis saying that he wants a certain caliber of player on this team. Bill Parcells echoing those sentiments when he addressed the Miami media, saying that he doesn't want any hoodlums or thugs or problem children on this squad. He wants players of high character. So 4:22 to play, third quarter, 28-10, Bengals.
You had a bad day, you take it one down, you sing a sad song just to turn it around. You say you don't know, you tell me don't lie, you work on a smile and you go for a ride. You had a bad day, the camera don't lie, you're coming back down and you really don't mind. You had a bad day, you had a bad day.
I'm interested in good character people. Some other places I've been have heard me say I don't want thugs and hoodlums on the team. I really don't. I don't want bad character guys. I don't want problem children.
That's Bill Parcells saying that he wants a certain
I'll tell you,
kind of player
and
on
the reason
Thursday.
they want guys, and they'll sacrifice a little talent. If you got two guys, one's a great guy, a good, good person, a hard worker, committed to being good, or a guy that's really talented who maybe not, you'll take the other guy, because when things go bad, good character guys dig deep, and things always go bad in the NFL. This is what he's done. Now, this is last year in Dallas, but let me tell you something. That's a good rate of success right there. And it all comes down, and players and coaches all over, not just Bill Parcells, but other great coaches will tell you they're great coaches because they have great players. And I think the Dolphins, with that draft stat that we showed you earlier in the game, need more great players. More players like this.
Marvin Lewis, Bill Parcells thinking with the same brain in that regard. And Lewis has been very vocal about some of the actions of his players, and especially off the field.
Well, that's what does it. I mean, you got guys that come in and practice hard, and all of a sudden the next day they're not there. And it has nothing to do with their football ability.
First down and 10 now at the 14-yard line. Chapman in the backfield. And they hand it off to Chapman. And Chapman, no gain on the play. John Thornton rides him down.
John Beck, you think about some of the things he's been through this season, and today is just like everybody else. This is a job interview. Now, he didn't get any repetitions in practice this week. He was the #2 guy, which is the way it is in the NFL. If you're not starting, they don't get you ready to play. They get the starter ready to play.
2nd down and 9 at the 15. Heel in motion. Here's Chapman again. And Chapman gets across the 20 up to the 22-yard line. Rucker with the tackle, a 7-yard pickup.
Like I said earlier, Bill Parcells likes quarterbacks who are veterans and stuff. He also likes them who don't turn the ball over. And if this season was a job interview for John Beck, it has not gone well. Now, a lot of rookies turn the football over, no question. And that's going to be something you have to live with a young quarterback. But it's the one thing that if you can control something as a young player, that's the thing you want to control. Just don't turn it over.
Beck has fumbled it 7 times, lost the fumble, 5 of those 7, deflected, picked up Ginn Jr. at the 25, and the Dolphins have a 1st down. It's a 4-yard gain. Leon Hall with the tackle.
And you got guys like Ted Ginn, who this is a guy that really is the #9 pick overall. And they knew that they needed him to get value out of that pick. I mean, you don't want to take a guy #9 overall, not have him contribute, and then as the season has worn on with injuries and Ronnie Brown being injured, now the shuffle at quarterback, it's difficult to calculate how good Ted Ginn Jr. could be if he got some consistent quarterback play.
1st down and 10 at the 27. Now Beck underneath, Ginn Jr. with the catch at the 30, so he'll gain 3.5 yards on the play in front of Delta O'Neal.
You'd think at this point of the game they'd start trying to throw the football down the field. I don't know. I think at this point Cam Cameron is just trying to stay positive and keep the ball under control. He's not going to give John Beck too much to look at. The more time, if you try to start throwing the football down the field, Gus, you start having to read defenses, pick up blitzers, throw the football hot on a blitz route. And I don't think John Beck is prepared to do that.
2nd down and 6 at the 31. Ginn with 6 catches for 43 yards and a touchdown. Now it's Booker on the draw play, and Booker picks up the 1st down. Good call. He gets to the 41, keeping this Cincinnati defense off balance, and gains 15 yards on the draw.
Well, it's like, particularly in this day and age, Gus, when the defenses are so fast, if you're going to run the football, I think the days of a quarterback just picking the ball up, turning around and handing it to a running back, following a fullback right up through the middle of the defense is over. I think you have to get your offensive lineman moving side to side, get the defensive lineman moving side to side, and then get your running back cutting back across the grain and getting some space. I think the defenses are just too fast to run right at him.
Closing moments of the 3rd quarter. 1st down. Beck at the 42. And he steps into his throw. Ginn Jr. with the catch at midfield. He goes all the way back to the 40, but his forward progress will have it marked at the midfield sign. Saints and the Bears battling today. Here's James Brown in New York.
Gus, Steve, tell me it ain't so. The Saints punt the ball to whom? Devin Hester. Gus, don't they know better? Hester, 64 yards to pay dirt, his 6th return of the season for a score, breaking his own single-season mark from last year, 31-17 Chicago. Gus, Steve, I can't believe it.
That wasn't even, JB, that wasn't even close.
Here's the handoff to Booker, and Booker with daylight. Booker cuts it inside and goes down at the 33. And that'll take us to the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. Cincinnati 28, Miami 10. We'll return to Miami after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Welcome back, 28-10. Start of the 4th quarter. The Dolphins trailing but driving now. 1st down at the Cincinnati 33. Here's Beck firing out of the backfield. Booker with the catch, squares his shoulders, cuts it inside, spinning, and goes down at the 16. Marvin White, the rookie out of TCU, brings him down, but Lorenzo Booker gains 18 on the play.
Gains 18 on a nice play, both by him and Beck. They got the defense to make the wrong decision. He gets the ball out to Booker, and you see there, that's why Booker is such a nice guy to have on the team. When you need a guy to catch the ball out of the backfield, you also need him to do that after he catches it.
First down and 10 at the 15. Here's the handoff to Booker. And Booker gets inside the 15-yard line, picks up 2 to 13. Thornton with the tackle.
And how different will it be if John Beck engineers a touchdown now? I mean, after the horrific start he got on his first snap.
He fumbles the ball, and
then
they run it back 54 yards for a touchdown.
And on the next series, he threw a couple of really bad passes on short throws. And now he seems to have found a little bit of a rhythm. Feeling a little bit more comfortable spreading the football around.
Second down and 8. 10th play of the drive. It started at the Miami 14. Beck over the middle. Incomplete. Peel, the intended receiver, covered on the play, though, by Ndukwe.
Yeah, and now's when it gets tough, as we spoke about all day, Gus. You get inside the 15-yard line, down near the 10-yard line. The field changes shape. The safeties don't drop deep. They stay right about the goal line or a couple of yards in the end zone, and it just looks a little more crowded when you drop back to throw the football. And Beck trying to gun that in there. And I'll tell you, Gus, you always talk about putting the ball in stride your receivers. Down here, you got to throw it right through their chest.
Third down and 8 at the 12. They need to go to the 5 for first down. Here's Beck over the middle. Booker with the catch. Gets down, and he should have a first down. Lorenzo Booker out of the backfield again. He gains 8 yards on third down and 8 as Leon Hall drops him.
I'll tell you, Gus, it is really difficult to match up with the running back out of the backfield, especially a running back that is as good as Booker. I mean, this guy's so fast and so good laterally, it's tough to match up on him one-on-one with anybody, defensive back or linebacker.
First down and goal at the 4. Here's the handoff. Booker. And Booker gets to the 2-yard line. Landon Johnson back in after that shoulder injury early. And he comes up with the stop.
I'll tell you, Gus, this play coming on, it's a nice running play down inside. But I'll tell you, those guys, the Dolphins are in the huddle right now, and they're looking at each other saying, we've got to score. They're looking at each other saying, we've had a terrible season. Let's get the ball in the end zone.
13th play of the drive. Dolphins have eaten up 6 minutes and 29 seconds. Second and goal at the 2. Booker, the single setback. Here's a quarterback sneak. Touchdown. Beck fooled everybody with the quick snap.
And now you look back and you think, be a much different game if he hadn't fumbled his first snap for a touchdown. But from above, right there, sees the gap. They can't stop it. Good play call. Good job by Beck. Finds it, and there's no question. I mean, he's in. And that's a nice, quick snap. A well-run drive by John Beck.
Extra point up and good by Feely. 13-play drive covering 86 yards. Dolphins eat up 7:01. 2-yard touchdown run for young John Beck. 28-17. Fantasy football season is not over. Sign up today to play NFL.com Playoff Challenge. Only at NFL.com/Playoff Challenge. So the Dolphins send it away. Glenn Holt is back deep, and he'll start from the 14-yard line. And Holt will get all the way up to the 35 before being stopped. Mark Washington with the tackle, a 21-yard return.
Well, I said earlier, John Beck, his job interview hadn't gone well thus far. It just got a little bit better. That is nice. A 13-play, 7-minute drive for the touchdown, and he finished it off with a quarterback sneak.
What are the coaches saying to him when he picks up the phone?
Well, they'll say, you know, most of all, they'll say, hey, nice job, way to get that drive done. But then they'll also give him some tips on what they were doing, what they're thinking about their next possession when they get the football.
First down and 10 at the 35 for Palmer. Fans trying to get back into it. Bengals with the 28-17 lead. Now Palmer firing down the field for Chad Johnson. Oh, he has it at the 24. In front of Michael Lehan. Another huge reception for Ocho Cinco. It's a gain of 43.
Well, Chad Johnson just takes a flat release and then turns it up the field. And right there, that's a great job of the receiver. You saw how at the very end he fades away from Lehan to get to the ball. That's by design. He stays close to Lehan and watches the ball go to the outside and then adjusts to the football at the last moment when Lehan can't do that.
First down to the 22. What a year for Chad Johnson. And they hand it off. Watson. And Watson goes down at the 9. Lehan with the tackle. 26 career 100-yard games now for Chad Johnson. His 5th this season, which ties a club record for the 3rd time in his career with 5 100-yard games in a season.
I'll tell you, when you look at the Cincinnati Bengals receiving records for a season and a career, Chad Johnson's name's at the top of all of them. He has been a phenomenal receiver.
First down and goal at the 9. Watson breaks it back, kicks his way, lowers his shoulder, and goes down at the 3 as Lance Schulters, the safety, stops him, and that's a gain of 6.
You know, you look at this replay, Jason Taylor's been a great player for so long, and I'll tell you, one of the things you notice, he's not getting much help. Watch. He is, boom, right in the backfield, makes the running back stop in the backfield. Now, he didn't make the tackle, but I'll tell you what, he is still a great player.
Second down and goal. They spot it at the 2-yard line. Palmer changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Watson. Touchdown, Cincy. So the Bengals get up and down in an eye blink.
Yeah, and this is way too easy. And they're running it right down inside. Right up inside. And the great job that the Dolphin defensive line was doing early in the game didn't happen on that play.
Cincinnati scoring in 4 plays, 65 yards. And they eat up 2 minutes and 18 seconds. The big play on that drive. Chad Johnson with the catch, a 43-yarder from Carson Palmer. And the extra point is good. 34-17, make it 35-17. Bengals with the lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon Wireless. MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. And by the Acura TL. Advancing possibilities.
The MetLife blimp Snoopy 1 is providing today's aerial coverage of the game below. The blimp travels over 60,000 miles a year to cover sporting events and television specials throughout the United States. So the Bengals score easily again, 35-17 our score. And this is Ted Ginn Jr. fielding it inside his own 5. And he'll dive forward and get to the 25, a 21-yard return as Corey Mays makes the tackle.
Look at next year's schedule. These are non-divisional opponents for the Dolphins. Only 2 of those teams in the playoffs at this point. And all of these West Coast teams, Oakland, San Diego, San Francisco, Seattle, all come to South Florida. So they don't have to go all the way across the continent to play any road games, which is a huge plus.
First down and 10 at the 25. Here's Beck. Over the middle, Peel with the catch, and he's wrapped up at the 30-yard line by Johnson after a 6-yard gain. Peel with his second grab of the day. 9:43 and counting in this season for the Miami Dolphins, and it's really been a tough one for them.
It really has. And you know, you think coming in here, the Dolphins were thinking in the back of their mind, yeah, they were 0-14 at one point. Now they're 1-15, or 0-13, then 1-13.
Second down and 4th, 31. Handed off, Samkon Gatto.
They get to the point where they're 1-14 and they're thinking, you know what, we could win 2 of our last 3 games to end this season when it looks so dismal for so long here in Miami. It doesn't look like that's going to happen here, trailing by as much as they are. But John Beck has come in off the bench and showed something.
It's 3rd down and 2 at the 33. And Beck scrambles out of the pocket. Fires it out of bounds. And Miami will have to punt it away. Other 1-15 teams since 1983.
And it's amazing that it's happened that often, isn't it?
Yep.
His latest.
Great thing is they didn't go 0 for 16. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. And that's, this club is, of course, as most of you know, the only franchise in history to go 16-0, 17-0 and win the Super Bowl. Now this year that could be eclipsed for the first time.
Chapman back deep. Starts at the 14-yard line trying to get outside and doesn't. He's wrapped up at about the 14. Justin Peel, 54-yard punt, 3-yard return. All right, Wednesday, Dave's back, and all new for the new year. Don't miss the return of The Late Show with David Letterman. All new starting Wednesday on CBS. So Cincinnati starts at the 14-yard line, 1st down and 10. Here's a draw play, Kenny Watson. And now the Bengals will certainly, Steve, try to run the football.
And this is we just spoke about the Dolphins record. This is the Bengals opponents for next year. And of course, they've got a lot of playoff teams. Plus, if Tennessee wins today and Washington wins, they're in the playoffs. So, you know, we spoke about Marvin Lewis wanting players where football was important to them. He better get a lot of them because they're going to need to have football be really, really important to them to win in that schedule. That is a difficult schedule, at least at this point it looks that way.
In a very tough division. 2nd down and 8 at the 16. Palmer. And that's incomplete. And a flag on the play as Colts made the catch, and he got slammed by Derek Pope.
Yeah, Pope slammed him to the ground. He didn't even catch the ball, but even if he had caught the ball, Pope can't slam him to the ground like that. So the Dolphins can argue that all they want, but they're not going to get it. It was an unnecessary tackle because the guy didn't catch the ball, but Pope didn't know he had not caught the ball. Walt Coleman sorting things out with the rest of his crew.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 56, defense, stuffing the receiver into the ground. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, 1st down.
See, it doesn't matter where he catches this or not. This is Jason, and there's the ball's past him. Pope takes him and slams him there. Whether he caught it or not is irrelevant. You can't slam a receiver like that.
So Cincinnati gets it now at the 32. And a 1st down. Pope has had a fine game today, including an interception. Watson straight ahead. And Joey Porter jumps on and takes a ride as he gets to the 39. 6-yard pickup.
Because this is going to be, and there's been some things said about this coming out of the Dolphin locker room all week about, you know, these guys are looking around knowing that this team is going to play its last game together today. And you don't know which Dolphins are going to be on the team or off the team. You don't even know at this point who's going to be coaching them. But in the last half of the last quarter of the worst season in Dolphins history, the guys are going to start looking around wondering if it's their last play.
2nd and 4. Very eloquent, Steve.
Well,
you
I mean,
are becoming just
I've been there,
the
man.
Walt Whitman of
I've been there, man.
Broadcasting.
I've been there. I've been standing on the sideline in a bad season, looking up, wondering what's going to happen to my future, whether I'm going to be on this team or out of football or on another team, whether my good friends on the team, guys that I've sweat with, worked hard with, sacrificed with, and become friends with, whether I'm ever going to get a chance to play on another team with them. And that's what's going through the minds of these Dolphin players right now.
3rd down and 3 at the 39. Palmer throwing to the near side. TJ Houshmandzadeh with the catch, breaks a tackle, and Houshmandzadeh crosses the 45 up to the 48, gains 8 yards on the play as Pope brings him down. Last night, history being made. Miami no longer standing alone as a team to end the regular season undefeated.
And they actually were surpassed in that regard by the Patriots going 16-0, surpassing the 1972 Dolphins, who went 14-0 in the regular season. And then, of course, the Dolphins, that we have yet to see if the Patriots can match them, headed to the Super Bowl and win it.
1st down and 10. Palmer throwing up top, incomplete. So the question is, and there's a flag on the play. So here's the question, Steve: can anybody beat the Patriots?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they're going to have to beat them in the AFC at home and then in the Super Bowl.
There are 5 other teams in the playoffs that can beat them.
Who?
Illegal contact, 31, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
We'll start with the AFC. Who can beat them in the AFC?
Well, these guys can beat them. San Diego can beat them. Pittsburgh can beat them.
No, Pittsburgh can't beat them.
Let me tell you something.
Pittsburgh can't beat them.
On any given Sunday, bud,
nah,
any of those teams can beat them too.
Maybe Jacksonville.
Oh, you're going to say Jacksonville can beat them and Pittsburgh can't? Come on, man.
They whooped Pittsburgh earlier this season.
I'm telling you right now, when push comes to shove, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm telling you, New England knows those teams can beat them.
1st down and 10 at the 48. Here's the handoff, Watson. I think there's only one team in the AFC that can beat them.
Indianapolis.
That's Indy. Marvin Harrison is back. Marvin Harrison is back. And don't forget, coming up next, the Steelers battle the Ravens, the Chargers take on the Raiders, or the Chiefs tangle with the Jets. Check local listings. More people watch NFL games on CBS than any other network.
San Diego's going to get the number 3 seed if they win, and that's amazing considering the way they started out the season. But I'll tell you, San Diego has got a lot of talent on their football team.
They do. 2nd and 6 at the 44. And they would like nothing more than an opportunity to get back at the Patriots after losing in the playoffs last year. Houshmandzadeh. And he gets down the sideline and stays in bounds at the 30. Michael Lehan with the tackle. It's a gain of 13.
I'm sorry, Gus. The reason that Cincinnati's still throwing the football, leading by 18 points, is this is their offense. I mean, they throw the football, and you see there Houshmandzadeh. Wes Welker is the leader in the NFL with 112 catches. Houshmandzadeh needs 3 to get the lead.
Do you think the players know that? Does Carson Palmer know that?
They know exactly those numbers.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Accord, Beyond the Road, all new from Honda, and by Subway Restaurants. Subway, eat fresh.
Tonight on 60 Minutes, the age of mega fires, why fires have become more powerful than ever before. Plus the geeks to the rescue in setting up your new electronics, followed by a new episode of The Amazing Race, plus Cold Case and Shark. Tonight on CBS, America's most watched network. Bengals approach the line of scrimmage, 1st down and 10 at the 31, 4:42 to play in the 4th final game of the season for these two teams. Carson Palmer is in the shotgun. He's looking to get TJ Houshmandzadeh his catches. They fire Houshmandzadeh with the grab, and he is dropped for a loss. Will Allen with the tackle.
Well, you ask me if they knew those numbers. You bet they do. Houshmandzadeh there with his 110th catch, needing 2 more to tie the NFL leader. And that, you know, Wes Welker finished his season last night, so they knew exactly what they needed to get him this thing. And, you know, they're not going to come in here saying, no matter what, we're going to get TJ his catches and get him the NFL title of receptions. But when you get to this point in the game,
you want that for your teammate.
Yeah, you do. And I think it's as important to Carson Palmer as it is to TJ.
Houshmandzadeh, 7 catches. How about Chad Johnson? All you fantasy league guys who have these players on your teams, you should be happy because Ocho Cinco, huge day, 2 touchdowns, 131 yards receiving, 4 catches. Houshmandzadeh, 7 catches, 78 yards.
Chad Johnson came in needing about 200 yards to take the NFL lead in yardage from scrimmage.
Looks like he won't get that one.
He got over 130 so far.
Reggie Wayne with 14.23. Randy Moss 13.93. Johnson 13.09. Not including today coming into the game.
And Reggie Wayne still has to play his game.
2nd and 12 of the 33. Underneath, that ball is caught. And it's Coates. Coates looking like a solid tight end as well, Steve. And here's a man that's a rookie. Coates with 3 catches in this game for over 40 yards as Lehan brings him down, and there's an injured player on the field. It is Michael Lehan.
Yeah, he went down, caught him right on the shoulder. But you're right, Coates has had a nice game at tight end for the Bengals. Tough to break in and have a breakout season when you got Chad Johnson and Houshmandzadeh having the kind of year they are. Chad Johnson checking on Lehan.
Carson Palmer back on the field.
Well, they're facing a 3rd and 9. 4 minutes and 4:24 to go in the game. This is one of those, well, you'd say most teams would not try and throw this past the down mark. You'd probably try and throw it short and have your guy try and break a tackle to get the first down. But this is Cincinnati. They may throw it for the end zone.
3rd down and 9. They need to go to the 21 for a first down. Palmer over the middle. Houshmandzadeh with the catch, and he has it at the 21. Let's see where his forward progress takes him. Will Allen stops him. 9-yard gain, and Cincinnati has a first down.
Right at the sticks, and there you see it.
Houshmandzadeh needs 1 to tie Welker and 1 to take the lead.
You can make a case for that catch he had just before that one as being one that they're just going to try and get him the record. That was a legitimate first down catch for Houshmandzadeh. Needs 1 more to tie Wes Welker. I'll tell you, Gus, that is a lot of catches. You look back years and years ago in the NFL, you didn't have guys that had that in 2 years. Top receivers in the NFL wouldn't have 100 catches in 2 years.
Now it's Watson running the ball. He gets down inside the 15. Will Allen with the tackle. 3:11 and counting. A 7-yard pickup. Miami continues to fight. Palmer checks out the playbook on his wrist. They will look to get TJ Houshmandzadeh 2 more catches before this one ends. So Houshmandzadeh will split out wide at the bottom of your screen, number 84. Now he goes in tight, and the Bengals call a timeout. So Miami will have the first overall pick in the draft, and the question is, who do you select?
Well, there's a lot of guys that are possible, but if you talk to the defensive line, is a good place to start. A lot of people who think that your entire club is built around that. Chris Long is a great one, of course. Then Jake Long the big tackle from Michigan, and then, of course, the premier guys, Darren McFadden, who's fast, a great running back who could make an immediate impact for a team. And all of that depends on where the Dolphins organization, and most notably Bill Parcells, believes one of those players could help them the most. You know, you talk about, and we've talked to different coaches, and some of them will tell you that they believe the entire organization is built on the quality of a defensive line. Of course, most of those guys are former defensive line coaches that say that.
That's right.
Cam Cameron may tell you it's a wide receiver or an offensive line.
Second down and 3. Palmer fires, caught. Hushmanzada ties Welker as he gets wrapped up at the 13-yard line. Donnie Spragan with the tackle. TJ Hushmanzada ties Wes Welker. He needs one reception to take the lead.
Right now, and I know how players think, Gus, right now he's thinking, I want it to be a touchdown.
That would be nice. CBS Sports hits on the bowl season beginning tomorrow as the Oregon Ducks take on the Bulls of South Florida in the Brute Sun Bowl. Then, on New Year's Day, the high-scoring Red Raiders of Texas Tech face the Virginia Cavaliers in the Conaca Minolta Gator Bowl. 35-17, Bengals with the lead, 2:27 to play in the fourth.
Well, I spoke to Marvin Lewis earlier this week, and he said, you know, this no-huddle offense that Carson Palmer likes to run, and the personnel they have to execute it are really nice. He says it's nice, it's slick, it's fun to watch, but he says it's not really physical enough. Well, today it's been more than enough against Miami. The running game has been effective, particularly in the second half. When they've gotten the lead, they've been able to hang on to it and hang on to the football using their run game.
Third down and 1. Hushmanzada in motion, and they're going to throw it to him out of the backfield to get him his catch, and he dropped the football. Wow! On third down and 1. So he's going to end the season tied with Welker. He had an opportunity.
He's going to lay awake in bed.
Oh, my goodness.
He's going to lay awake in bed tonight.
You know, the sun's over there. I wonder if that got caught in it, if the sun got caught in his eyes.
Oh, I don't... That will haunt him for the rest of his career if he doesn't get another catch.
So that brings on Graham to attempt a 30-yarder. It's up. And good. TJ Hushmanzada couldn't haul it in with one hand as he has a conversation with Carson Palmer. Now let's see if his defense goes out there and says, hey, we got to get back on the field for TJ.
Boy, I don't know if they'll do that. Cincinnati, you know, you think back on Cincinnati's season as they try and wrap this up.
Some tough losses for the Bengals this year.
Yeah, they really have week 2 at Cleveland. The Bengals were down 6 with under a minute, and Lee Bodden intercepted Carson Palmer, and the Browns win it 51-45. Then in week 3 at Seattle, Matt Hasselbeck hits Nate Burleson with a minute left. Seahawks led 24-21 in the ensuing kickoff. They fumble it away. Seahawks win by 3, and then this one, week 15 at San Francisco. Bengals were down with 7 with just over 2 minutes left. Chad Johnson can't hold on to the 4th down pass, and the Niners hold on to win 20-13. You look at those 3 losses, and it looms enormous for the Bengals. It's never as bad as it seems, Gus, but it's also never as good as it seems.
It's true.
The Bengals, looking back over the course of that season, you flip those 3 games around, it's huge. I mean, you can't put a price on it. Those 3 plays, those 3 games are the difference between the playoffs and going home.
So the Bengals send it away. 2:16 to play. As this one popped in the air, Ginn Jr. over to the sideline. And he weaves his way to the 24. An 11-yard return. Tackled by Quincy Wilson. So there's Mr. Wayne Huizenga the owner, chairman of the board of the Miami Dolphins. What they say, he was thinking about selling the team. It was appraised at about $1.something billion. He changed his mind, and that's when Bill Parcells signed on. And the future looks bright in Miami.
Well, I think the thing he did is smart. He brought in quality people, Ron Wolf, Bill Parcells, guys who have been proven to be able to turn franchises around and run them effectively. And now we'll see. And he always has been a guy who stays out of their way.
One of the great owners in professional sports. As Joseph catches it, gain of 6. Make that Booker catches it, and we'll be back right after this.
On the sidelines, and you got to wonder, and he's wondered openly about his future. And of course, Zach Thomas, who's been out most of the year with a concussion symptoms.
Beck throwing it in. It was almost picked off. Delta O'Neal had a shot at the football.
Went off the hands of Ted Ginn Jr. You think about those great players, Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor, and all they've meant to this organization. To stand here and watch this season unfold and come to a close has got to be, something that's even hard to wrap your mind around. Zach Thomas has been so great for so long. Of course, Jason Taylor going
out on the corner and letting them make a play.
Well, here's our game in a nutshell. We talked about the numbers for McNabb, the red zone ineffectiveness of the
Ball caught Camarillo, and he has it at the 43, and it's a gain of 13 yards. First down, Miami. So Beck quickly gets his team to the line of scrimmage. Beck pumping underneath. And that's Lorenzo Booker out of the backfield, and he's wrestled down by Jonathan Joseph, and it's a 6-yard pickup. Lorenzo Booker's done a nice job, Steve. 3rd-round pick out of Florida State. He looks fast, elusive,
looks
versatile.
Looks fresh-legged, doesn't it?
Yes, he does.
Doesn't look like week 17 to him.
2nd down and 4. Now Beck firing, and that ball is caught. And they'll get it to the 45-yard line. Catch made by David Martin. The final minute of the season for the Dolphins and the Bengals as Beck quickly gets his team to the line of scrimmage, and he spikes the ball.
Hey, I just thought of something. This is our final minute of the season too, man. It's been great.
It's been awesome, as usual.
It's been great.
I don't know what we're going to do for the next 9 months.
I'm going to sleep. I'm going to heal up. It's been a rough season.
Yeah, it's been a tough one.
Oh, yeah.
We'd like to thank our producer, Vic Frank, who's been with us all season, folks. He has been our Bill Parcells, a winner and a great coach and a great leader.
And a button pusher.
2nd down and 10. Over the middle, caught, and down at the 23-yard line. Hagan with the grab, and it's a 22-yard gain. Chris Vincent, also our director, providing all the great pictures today.
And that's, you got to like it about John Beck here in the waning moments of a bad season when he didn't think he was going to get play today. Battling until the very end, and it would be the bitter end.
36 seconds to go as the Dolphins come to the line of scrimmage. Now Beck in the shotgun. And he steps up in the pocket, throws on the run in the end zone. Touchdown. That's a nice throw. Hagan with the catch. A 22-yard touchdown strike.
And they'll go for 2. Why not? They just leave Hagan uncovered. He just comes out, and Delta O'Neal just loses him. And Miami let their foot off the gas defensively on that one. They just forgot about it. But Beck takes advantage of it for the touchdown, and
so they're going for 2 in the end zone. Hagan again. And he has it. With a two-point conversion. 38-25. As Beck throws a nice fade. And the Dolphins will punt it away.
Well,
kick it away, excuse me.
Yeah, well, one word describes it. The Dolphins finishing with a flurry like this, Gus, it's just nothing but pride.
The executive producers of the NFL on CBS are Sean McManus and Tony Petitti. Today's game was produced by Vic Frank and directed by Chris Svensson. The senior producer of CBS Sports and the NFL Today is Eric Mann. The director is Bob Mattina. The coordinating producer of the NFL on CBS is Lance Barrow. The coordinating producer of CBS Sports is Harold Bryant. The associate director of today's game is Jason Ross. The broadcast associate, the Murph, Steve Murphy. The technical manager is Rick Godwin. The technical director is Ed Collins. And the audio supervisor is Jeff Cohen. Our spotter, Scott Duthard. Our stat man, my longtime partner, Mr. Russ Dillon of Baltimore. Been a great year, folks. Thanks, everybody.
Russ Dillon doing his 36th football game of the fall. He's a grinder.
Yes, he is.
And I'll tell you, and I said a moment ago, it shows a great deal of pride that the Dolphins have in finishing the game like this after this season has been what it is. And now lining up for the onside kick. I mean, that's, you got to tip your hat to them. And I do, I guess, in this way. I guess I'm impressed. I'm glad they finished out the season like this.
Here's the onside kick, and it's batted out of bounds by T.J. Houshmandzadeh. And there is a flag on the play.
It'll be an offsides, it looks like. I think the Bengals, this Bengals stepped up, and you can't block or initiate contact before 10 yards. The Bengals can't step across the line and make contact. They have to wait for the Dolphins to get to them, and that's the penalty.
Illegal batting of the ball on the return team, number 84. It's a 10-yard penalty and re-kick.
You can't bat the ball out of bounds. Which has not always been the rule.
T.J. Houshmandzadeh may get one more opportunity to get that catch to surpass Wes Welker.
And don't think they won't get it to him. 28 seconds.
So Walt Coleman.
It used to be.
The game clock to 26 seconds, please. 26.
And that does seem kind of, you see the players like, it is kind of humorous. That's take 2 seconds off the clock at this point.
Well, Houshmandzadeh and the all-hands team. Do you think if Cincy does get the football, they'll throw to him, try to get him that one catch?
I don't know. That's up to Marvin Lewis.
Here's a high onside kick, and it's fielded at the 45 by, guess who, T.J. Houshmandzadeh.
Maybe they should give him the throw now just for fielding that kick.
That's right.
Because that's no fun.
Don't forget, coming up next, Pittsburgh at Baltimore, San Diego at Oakland. So Houshmandzadeh will remain on the sideline. His teammates congratulate him for a fine season. And he will not get an opportunity to catch that ball. That's great sportsmanship, in my opinion, by the Cincinnati Bengals and Marvin Lewis.
It would be an artificial accomplishment anyway, although it's happened at different times. I mean, you think back about across the history of the league. Michael Strahan getting the record sack against Brett Favre when Brett Favre fell down in front of him.
And the final score, 38-25. The Cincinnati Bengals defeat the Miami Dolphins For Steve Tasker, this is Gus Johnson saying so long from Miami. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. Coming up, it's the Best Buy update. We'll take you to New York for all the scores and highlights after this. Happy New Year, everyone.